ready for bed at a regular time is one of the most important habits you can learn.
Who you gonna call?
Jason was my son, and today is his birthday.
Oh, Lori, scared another one away.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Sorry, Jack. Chucky's back.
We are counselors at Hackett's Quarry Summer Camp. There is a swarm of bears.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
Most people are so ungrateful to be alive, but not you.
It's showtime.
Hello, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Scream Stream. Now we are here on one of my favorite episodes because this kickstarts a wonderful month of Five Nights at Freddy's because the movie is coming out at the end of this month, and I'm super excited. So I figured to start this wonderful trend, we're gonna talk about all things dealing with the games. Now, on this fabulous episode, number 40 of all the numbers, which I think is a fabulous number to start this off with, we have my buddy AJ joining us, who's also a huge fan of FNAF.
I actually am.
Very huge fan. That's how we actually met.
I gotta say, well, Five Nights at Freddy's 4 has got to be one of my most favorites from the original franchises.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
I'm still a sucker for that first one though. I'm still a sucker for it. But yes, we're gonna be talking about all things dedicated to the games. Now we're not gonna talk about all the games like Freddy in Space and stuff like that. We're mainly sticking to like the main lore type of the games, such as FNAF 1.
I know more about that actually.
What? Which one?
Freddy in Space. I want to see more about that one day.
Yeah, unfortunately, this ain't it. Cause that one I think was more as a joke and a gimmick, so I don't think it's really heavy with the lore. I could be wrong, but because I had a lot of information I had to go through. Like I'm talking about, I have books, I got all the games. Like there were so many games that have been out since 2014. But let's dive in just a little bit about the creation of Five Nights at Freddy's before we dive into each individual game, because this is how we're going to play. We're going to talk about each game, each mechanic, each, the animatronics you got to deal with, how lore accurate and heavy it is, which one's more important, yada, yada, yada. We're going to be doing that shenanigans. I'm going to try my best not to try to cross over too much information dealing with the books, because that's going to be its own podcast next week. Just a lot of the informational lore heavy dealing with the books that connect to the games. Granted, I could talk about it on this one, but I feel like there's a lot of confusing and conflicting information, so I'm just always got to double check my stuff, especially when it comes to the books, lore, and everything.
Yeah, because it might not cross through well.
Yeah, because there's a big argument within the FNAF community of whether the books are canon or not to the game lore itself. And I do believe, yeah, the books are canon. And it's not canon in the way that you would think, though. Like, you're not going to sit down and read the story of, like, Henry Emily doing his thing. It's more like, what's the word I'm looking for? A metaphor of, like, say, case in point, real quick. With the books, there's a story about the Mimic, which we're not going to dive too much into it right now, again next week, but the story in the Mimic is about a guy named Edward, and all of this is supposed to be more of a representation of, I want to say Henry and his daughter in some degree. And again, I got a lot of lore to go through when it comes to the books. I'm going to do my best to get it as accurate as I can. But yeah, there's like 12 just in the Pizzaplex books themselves. That's not including like the Fourth Closet, Twisted Ones, and all that. But yeah, there's just a lot of books to go through, so I want to make sure I'm good on that. And when it comes to like anything dealing with the timeline, like I know that's also a big argument with the Five Nights at Freddy's community is the timeline and where all the games set up compared to what we know and what we think we know. we will be discussing that in about 2 weeks. The week of the movie, I will sit down. We'll try to get a group of FNAF fans together, and we're going to sit down and just discuss everything dealing with the timeline, where the movie might fit in, what information the movie might bring in, you know, discuss where the franchise is going to go from here. Just a basic general discussion and just funsies for FNAF fans all the way. And then the week after the movie comes out, I'll do a spoiler review of the movie. I'll be watching it multiple times because.
Oh, so that means there might be 4 of these Five Nights at Freddy's movies. So one is before and one is after the movie.
Again, we will discuss that when it comes time for that discussion, but we're just sticking mostly to the games on this one, so it should be a fabulous episode. I'll do my best. If I get any information wrong, guys, I do apologize. I've been doing my best to follow this franchise since 2014, and that's based up around 2000. I think it was 2015 that I actually got into the games. I may be wrong. I'm not 100% sure. I know it's around 2014 or 15. It was right around the time when it just started getting big. Is when I got into it. But, you know, it's 14. That's almost 10 years, man. it's over.
2014.
Yeah, that's almost 10 years. That's 10 years of information, man. So if I get any information wrong, I do apologize, guys. Do not rake me across the coals. Do not beat me with torches and tomatoes. Like, I'm just trying my best here, guys. I truly am.
You got it all wrong.
You're wrong! Why are you doing this? Why are you lying? I'm not lying. I'm just doing my best, man. But it's all in good fun, and I'm not saying this isn't, this is canon. I'm not arguing anything like that. It's just, we're just going to go over the basic information. Yeah, we're all just going to have fun here. That's it. That's just all about fun. But let's go ahead, dive straight on into this. Starting with the creme de la creme game that started all this shenanigans, Five Nights at Freddy's 1. This game, who would have thought this simple little point-and-click game, would be this big that it is today? Think about that. Scott himself didn't even realize. Scott ended up making this game as like a last-ditch effort because he was a developer for other little indie games such as Chipper and Friends. He did a lot of like Christian games, which I commend him because he's big into his Christian faith, and I understand that. But that is a very, very niche market. Like, I'm sorry, you probably would have done better, Scott, if you did, like, educational games, if you were going to go that route. Because educational games, people use that. Schools use that. I remember growing up, there was a educational game with math that we played in class that helped, us kind of learn our timetables and stuff like that. So if you were going to do an indie developing idea for games, Scott, you probably should have gone with educational, because the Christian market for gaming is very, very, very niche. Like, it's super hard to get into that market because there's not really a calling for it. People, I hate to say it, people don't sit down and want to play Christian games all the time. I hate to be that way, I truly do, but, we all know how the gaming market is. But Scott created this fabulous game as a last-ditch effort. He didn't even know what it was going to be. He did something very basic off a comment that was made about his Chipper and Friend game where somebody said that the beaver looked very animatronic and creepy. So he ran with that comment and made Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, the simple premise of Five Nights at Freddy's is, well, like I just said, very, very simple. It's a point and click. You sit your ass in one spot. You don't move around too terribly much. You got to control lights from the hallway. You got to control these doors. And you got to look at your cameras to watch these animatronics.
Battery.
And you got to conserve the battery. I'm having a stroke here. Yeah, you got to conserve the battery, and you basically got to survive from midnight to 6 a.m. Sounds simple enough, but as each night goes, it gets progressively harder and harder, and there's roughly about 6 levels, and of course the 7th unlockable level, but I don't know if that was implemented in this game. I know they started that in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th game and stuff like that, but I can't remember if the 7th level was unlockable. That was the reason why they had just the 6 levels. But we have our OG animatronics that we all know and love. They're the icons we even see in the movie. But we got our original Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. All looking as fabulous as we always remember them. They're the OG faces of Five Nights at Freddy's. You think Five Nights at Freddy's, you think the big brown bear with the black top hat and the bow tie, Chica, you know, with her little, her bib that said, yeah, her cupcake, her bib, her little plump belly.
Let's eat.
Yep. You know,
Let's eat it.
they're the iconic look. They're the iconic look that we all know and love. Granted, there's been many iterations. We have tons of iterations, especially because the AR games. We got so many costumes. So, did you know there's a Statue of Liberty, Chica? A 4th of July, Freddy? A Christmas tree, Foxy,
Wait, what?
I
Is
think.
that the AR? It's actually the AR game version.
Yeah. The AR version has so many like costumes because the whole point of the AR game was supposed to be you can order an animatronic for any occasion.
There's got to be St. Patrick on there. I know there's a St. Patrick on there in the chocolate, is it?
Yeah, chocolate Freddy.
Version?
Yeah, because you know you had to get an animatronic for any occasion at the time, any occasion. 4th of July, you got one. New Year's, we got you. You're breaking up, we got you. Is that a divorce party over there? We got you. Like seriously, there was animatronics for everything. But nothing beats the classic OG look, and I'm a sucker for the OGs. Like a lot of people like the Nightmare animatronics because they're super scary, and I agree, they are very terrifying. And
I actually love the Nightmares.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Nightmares are good. They're really good design. I love the design. They're super freaky. But again, I just like the OG look. And then, of course, you got the people who either like or dislike the toy animatronic look. You got the ruin look. Yeah, I mean, you got so many looks for these guys. So to go back and the replay, because I did actually get to replay this one. It was super fun. It's actually a couple months ago. I got to sit down and play this. But yeah, it was just fun just to see just how simple the game was and just the original look of the game. And because think about it now. Where we're at now when it comes to the games. You know, now we're in a free roaming mode. Everything's 3D. We're moving around. We ain't just sitting down in an office clicking buttons, waiting for 6 a.m. while we're flipping the camera up and down, praying to God that Freddy doesn't come and smack you upside the head.
Foxy doesn't keep running down the hallways, banging on the door.
I know, like, it's just ridiculous. But the main plot of this particular game is you play a guy named Mike Schmidt, who's a security guard, and you gotta survive the 5 nights. And as, like I said, as each night goes, the more aggressive and, well, angry these animatronics end up getting and trying to kill you. And throughout this entire game, originally, if you're not paying attention, you know, just playing the game as normal, you wouldn't even catch the lore in this game. This is how subtle the lore in this game was, because again, I don't think Scott realized what he had in his hands. Like, he just threw something at the game and said, all right, this is it. If this doesn't work, I'm stuck at working at Dollar General and Target for the rest of my life. So I don't think he quite knew exactly what lore he wanted to go with, but what little lore we do have, we do know that there were 5 missing kids who all disappeared from the restaurant. Their bodies were never discovered, and what we find out at the end of the game is that the animatronics have this foul, wretched, putrid smell to them. They're oozing blood and weird stuff, and people just ain't feeling this, so they don't really come to the restaurant anymore. And hell, I wouldn't either if I was next to Freddy Fazbear and he smelled like a dead body. I would be like, yeah, no, not for my child's birthday party. Hell no. Just saying.
Yeah, it was a nice piece of it, but now the smell, they're not gonna do anything about it.
Right. An animatronic upkeep is a bit of a pain. But you also learn throughout these newspaper clippings that whoever they had in mind that killed the kids was let go because there was no evidence or proof that he did it. But it's one of those, we can't prove that he did this, but we all know he did this. It's like Freddy Krueger when he got off in the original Nightmare on Elm Street. All the parents knew he did this, but the judges didn't care. So they took vengeance upon themselves. This is why we have bigger issues when it comes to Nightmare on Elm Street. Your petty revenge for the murder of your children have now damned us for an eternity, being slowly killed off one by one in our dreams by a very pissed off individual who deserved to die. Anger and rage, man. Anger and rage. And that's something we see in this game, funny enough, is the fact that these kids' spirits are so angry for being murdered. I don't blame them. And that's something I did like about the first game, because you don't know 100% that the animatronics are possessed per se, but you got a good theory, and it would make sense. Like, if I was a kid and I was brutally murdered, and then I was stuffed inside of an animatronic, I'd be pretty pissed too, I'm not gonna lie. Like, 100%, I'm not gonna lie about that. Another big plot point here that we have is, of course, the infamous Bite of 87. What was the Bite of 87? We hear the phone guy talk about it. Yeah, we hear the phone guy talk about it a lot. The Bite of 87. Hey, how did Mark did it? Was that the Bite of 87?
Oh, I remember.
I love you, Mark.
That was 94, if I remember.
Yeah. Well, just him just sitting there all quiet and just looks at the camera. Was that the Bite of 87?
With his face dropped.
Like, nobody knew. Nobody knew. But again, I don't think Scott even knew. He just threw random things. So we get, of course, the infamous Bite of 87. What was the bite? What happened? Who got bit? Why did this happen? Nobody really knows the shenanigans.
The frontal lobe.
Yep. And the thing about the frontal lobe is what makes you, you. Like, let's go a little anatomy real quick. So back in the 20s and 30s when people were unfortunately doing experiments on quote unquote crazy people, I say that around with air quotes because a lot of times people were put in these mental institutions because no one knew how to deal with them. And instead of trying to help them in any way, people just get thrown into these buildings, and these doctors would just have all the fun in the world with their experiments. And one of the bigger ones that we all know about is, unfortunately, the lobotomy treatment. And the way the lobotomy works is you take a big-ass needle, I mean like a huge-ass needle, and you stick it up their nose, you take a hammer and just hit them in that frontal lobe, they're docile. Because that is you. Your frontal lobe is what makes you as an individual, and if you mess with that frontal lobe, it can either make you super aggressive like an animal, or you basically work off it like a zombie. Your only instinct is just eat, sleep. Yeah, that's basically your function. You have no personality, you have no charm about you, it's just basic instinct, maybe a little hunting here and there, but mainly basic instincts. And then you have the complete opposite effect, where you're just docile and you're kind of catatonic in some aspects. So yeah, when someone got bit in the front, or whoever got bit in the frontal lobe, they're really fucked up. So yeah, the Bite 87 is very, very important, not only because of the fact that if an animatronic did go rogue and bit somebody to the point that now they need forever medical care, you don't want that animatronic around anybody, ever. And I'm sure the bad publicity and the press behind that would not make you want to take your child there either. Think about that real quick. Think about that. Like, seriously, if you were to go to a pizzeria and you got told, that animatronic right there just snapped one day and bit that guy's lobe off, would you want your child anywhere near that? I wouldn't want myself near that.
I wouldn't.
I know.
I know I wouldn't. Your own child safety.
Exactly. And then one of the other, like, big plot points, of course, is the Golden Freddy, which is one of the rarest appearance ever, but the Golden Freddy is super important because of the whole Cassidy thing. And we all know the theories of Cassidy being inside of Golden Freddy, the one that should not have been killed. And of course, we got the infamous it's me text. Now, unfortunately, if you ever ran the Golden Freddy, it crashed your game. Like, straight up. I think I ran the Golden Freddy one time, and I was confused as hell.
I have never got Golden Freddy, but I actually know whereabout he comes from. which is the poster where Bonnie is.
Oh yeah,
So
the
basically, it's on the left side door.
yeah, I know the poster. So you never actually got to see Golden Freddy in person. I got it one time out of the years I played it, and it crashed my game. But that's what it's supposed to do. Apparently, it's supposed to crash your game. Don't ask me. Yeah, don't ask me why that's a thing. But Scott likes to I guess, have a chuckle at somebody else's expense. But yeah, if you stare at Golden Freddy, because what happens is you start getting texts saying it's me, all over the place, and then you pull your camera up and then pull it down. Golden Freddy's just sitting there in front of you on the floor. As you stare at it, it just crashes your game. You have to quickly put your camera up and hide. I think something like that. I don't know. I messed it up because my game crashed. And then I booted my game up and never saw that bear again. I was confused as hell. I was just like, what? What's the point of this?
Tell you what I did. I will tell you what I did get though. You know the crying children, which is on the right side.
Are you talking about the paper? The paper mache ones? Yeah.
I got that one. Yeah. I got those.
That's a good one.
I've actually got it all on footage as well.
Oh, nice. You did better than me. I didn't have any of my shit on footage, but hell, I wasn't streaming or recording at the time. Because again, 2014, different time. But yeah, the first game, there really wasn't much to it, but there was a lot to it at the same time. And again, I don't think Scott realized what he had, so he just kind of made something creepy that he could probably work with later on. And then when the game blew up, you know, because what I find funny, if I may digress for a second, what I find funny is the fact that a lot of these indie horror developers make these simple little games thinking it's not gonna do anything. They're just thinking, okay, you know what, I can make a quick buck off of this, no big deal. And it sells like hotcakes and everybody loves it. And they're just sitting there well, I didn't really plan this all the way through. They're sitting there just they weren't prepared for this. Always be prepared, guys. Always be prepared. If it fails, oh well. At least you had backup contingencies and other plans here. If it succeeds, you have a plan. Scott, you probably should have thought that through because unfortunately it does show as the games progress that it's not 100% sure exactly where you want to go, because I will admit there are some certain things I feel as the games progress that he just kind of threw in and said, I'll deal with this later, and then later came another game. He was like, oh yeah, remember that thing I never finished in the last game? Yeah, here's the answer. The infamous FNAF 4 box. Do you know where we learned about that box from? It's not even in the games. No. The box.
Oh, it's not the FNAF 4 one, is it?
Is it FNAF 4 that had the secret ending where you had the box and you can't open it?
I remember. Yes, that one was Five Nights at Freddy's 4, which says some things are left to be forgotten, something like that. Which you've got these locks, and there's about 2 locks on there. But in that box, it does actually say by the Candy Cadet robot in Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator. That's what it lies in that box.
No, that's not what's in the box.
Is it not?
It is not what's in the box. That was an idea. That was a theory. So nobody knows exactly what's in the box. One of the ideas is the 5, the Candy Cadet story with the 5 in there. But the one that a lot of people agree with, and I agree with this one, the box was actually explained in the books. And the Silverado Fourth Closet. Yep. Apparently the box contains Charlie.
What?
Yeah, you find out in the Fourth Closet, which we'll dive more into this when we talk about the books next week, but you find out in the Fourth Closet. Spoiler alerts, by the way, for the book series real quick. So if you haven't read the books and you want to, I suggest come back in about 5 minutes. But you find out in the Silver Eyes Twisted One's Fourth Closet, you find out that the main character, Charlie, who you've been following around for the entire 3 books, She's a robot. She's an animatronic. She is Henry's daughter. Henry recreated her and had robots dedicated to each stage of her life. And in the fourth closet in her room, she found herself in the, or it was either her or one of her friends found Charlie in the box. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's really like, again, the books explain so much because of the whole remnant residence thing, the whole how essence of life and how the animatrons are brought back to life. It explains so much in the books, and it hurts my head. It hurts my head. But again, Scott created this game. Let's see, when did he create FNAF 4? In 2015. The books, I think, weren't created till like 2018 or so. So yeah, several years later, the box, because it's literally described in the book as the box we see at the end of the FNAF 4, like to a detail, the color, the two locks, the shape of it, the size of it. It's all described in detail in the fourth closet book. So yeah, that's what I mean by Scott has this issue where I don't think he knows exactly where he wants to go. Like, he has an idea. Like, he's got like a main, like, little thin line idea, and then he kind of just throws whatever's out there and see what sticks, and then if it's something important, he'll put it in something else and be like, oh yeah, now I totally remembered that. Did you really, Scott? Or did you just like hold on to this thought until you thought it was important? Or until everybody else thought it was important, I should say. Again, I'm not talking shit on Scott. I'm just saying, some of the stuff, you really should have thought some of the stuff all the way through. I get you're trying to make a mysterious aura about the franchise. You don't want to answer questions. You want people to come up with their own ideas and stuff. But the problem with that is, no one's ever going to be satisfied with their own ideas. It's just better to confirm what you want to do, man. Just do what you want to do. You don't... I hate when people do horror movies or games and their whole gimmick is it's up to interpretation. What do you think the game was about? Bitch, I didn't create the game. You did. I'm here to enjoy the story and go on the ride with you. You should tell me what the story is, and I can tell you whether I like it or not. But no, there's been like this whole thing recently where nobody wants to do their own creation. They want to leave it up to interpretation. And then everyone gets mad at each other when their interpretations of the said like movie or game is completely different than what the other person's thought. Like,
it's a little bit like a cliffhanger type of, like you've got that there, then you got that part, then it just ends. Like, so where are you going with this? Or something like that.
Yeah, it's just like, and that's fine if you want to leave it. Like, there's some movies that work really well like that, where it's like, take up your own interpretation. But there's other movies where you kind of need to know the context. Like, there's this movie I absolutely love. It's not a horror movie or anything. It's actually a very sad movie. It's called Stay. It's got Ewan McGregor in it. And this movie is like a fucking acid trip because, we're in a... Like, weird things start happening in the movie, like, at one point, this guy is walking, and his pants are all normal. I think it's Ewan McGregor, actually. His pants are all normal and stuff, and then he literally cuts across the frame of the movie, and it comes back, and now his pants legs are suddenly riding up. No explanation, it's just random as hell. And there's like little things like that start happening throughout this whole movie. Turns out at the end of the movie, it's all in the head of this dying man. This man unfortunately got into a car wreck at the beginning of the movie. And at the end of the movie, he's dying, and what we saw throughout this movie is him dealing with his death, and he actually saw Ewan McGregor in front of him trying to help him out because apparently Ewan McGregor was a doctor who just happened to be there when the accident happened, and what he saw with the pants legs riding up was Ewan bending down to help him out. So this is why he saw Ewan with fucked up trousers, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But if we didn't have that context that, oh, this is all in the mind of a dying man, we'd be looking at this movie like, what the fuck did I just watch? Like, imagine if that movie ended right before you find out it was in the mind of a dying man. We'd be sitting there confused as hell. And then we asked the director, what was this movie about? Well, take it up to your own interpretations. No, motherfucker, just tell me. Just tell me. And that's exactly what Stay did. It told me, hey, this whole fucked up thing you just saw, yeah, in the mind of a dying man. It made me appreciate that movie and the attention to details that they added. I love shit like that. And unfortunately, a lot of directors nowadays, a lot of game creators, they don't want to do stuff like that because they're afraid to either upset their already growing audience. They don't want to step on anybody's toes, and they want to be original, but unfortunately, in today's world, you can't really be 100% original because everything's been done. Everything's been done to death. Sorry, going on a little tangent there. I'm just saying, like, Scott, just tell us what you had. That's all you had to do was just tell us your story, man. I'm sure we would have loved it no matter what. You didn't have to come up with some random stuff. But because of all this randomness, we got some pretty cool games. I'm not gonna lie. Which brings us on to our next game. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 came out in 2014. I want to say it was like 2 or 3 months after the first game. So Scott, I gave him credit on this one. He didn't recycle the same shit to a degree. Like, yeah, we still got to sit in the office. Because in this one, it's another point-and-click game. You play a guy named Jeremy Fitzgerald, who's another security guard, watching the new Pizzaplex. The first one was Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and this one I think it's just a random Freddy Fazbear Pizza location. I don't think they ever tell you in the games where this particular location is at. But this one, you don't have to control the doors. You don't have to bounce the battery charges. You gotta watch the vents with the little lights. You gotta watch the back with a little light. And you gotta wind up this music box. That's it. That is it. And I like that.
The only way you got to spare is the flashlight. That's the only thing you've got to try and keep.
Yeah, but luckily, I think the flashlight recharges itself. Which, that's a plus.
Because what I know is I've never charged the flashlight battery.
I never really had issues with Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I'm gonna be honest, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 for me was super easy. Like, it was very easy. Yeah. Like I see what Scott did trying to, I guess, lessen how difficult the original game was. This is why he took away the balancing of, like, the power. Which I like that. You know, it adds a new mechanic to the game that, not really a new mechanic, but takes away a older mechanic to do a new mechanic, which is the music box. You know, you gotta balance that fucking music box. If you don't do that music box, well, the puppet's gonna show up and beat the hell out of you with her puppet arms. I know.
The fun thing about everyone should know, puppets are controlled by strings. Am I right? They're just dangling with strings, but this puppet is free bloody roamed. No strings attached.
Well, I mean, it was supposed to be a security guard puppet to a degree to keep kids from wandering outside. This is why everybody had little bracelets, you know, because I want to say during the puppet minigame. It's the puppet minigame where you see the children with the bracelets and stuff, and then you take cake to kids. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, that minigame. Yeah, that's you see that they all have little wristbands and stuff.
A little spoiler if you've did not get this. I did not get it myself. But what you see is a car pull up, and somebody gets killed from the outside as the puppet is slowing down.
Yes, we learned that in that wonderful minigame, which, again, they brought back minigames. Actually, not brought back, because they didn't have minigames in the first game, did they?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, so this is the first game they had. They started the
That
mini
was
game
the
thing.
actual thing, yeah.
Yeah. So with the mini games, that helps you get the secret full story of FNAF 2. And I'm trying to think of all the mini games. I know we had to do the take cakes. Was this the one that had the pizza? The one where you play Freddy, you had to throw the pizza. Or was that Pizzeria Simulator? I can't keep track of all the damn mini games. There's so many mini games.
At the start of the game, that's Final Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator.
Okay. Yeah, again, there's just so many mini games, and I unfortunately did not organize which mini games with which one.
So, as we said at the start, I'm a huge Final Freddy's fan, so I can actually remember like a lot.
Yeah, that's why I brought you on here as my backup assistance here, because of the fact that again, so much shit about this franchise. Over 10 years of stuff I had to cram within a couple of weeks. If I miss some stuff, this is why I have AJ to back me up. But with this one, we now have something new to this one. We don't have the OG animatronics per se. Like, we have the OGs. The OGs are there. They're just kind of tore up and fucked up because they're being used as parts.
New parts.
For the new animatronics, which is a very not controversial, but very divisive piece in this game, which is the toy animatronics. People are not big fans of the design of the toy animatronics. Some people do, some people don't. I'm fine with it.
Plasticky. How I would see them is like all plasticky.
I think that was the point when designing the toy animatronics, because they wanted to get away from the more like lifelike. I'm not saying like the original animatronics were very lifelike. You look at that and go, "Oh my God, that was a bear!" But you gotta think of how they were created. With actual fur. I want to say the endoskeleton was very simple and basic, so it wasn't like too overly crazy. Where the toy animatronics, they're sophisticated. They're super I'm having a stroke again. Sophisticated. They're super sophisticated. Because they're hooked up to a criminal database and has facial recognition. And the whole reason for this is, and you find out during all the mini games, that this particular plot line is you got more missing kids. You find out that another child died, and the puppet ended up going out there and dying with it, with the girl. And the girl ended up kind of possessing the puppet. And what you find out in the story is the child in question is supposed to be Henry's daughter, Charlie, who, if you don't know, and you probably do know this if you're a fan of FNAF, Henry, of course, is Afton's partner in this whole situation. And Afton is pretty jealous of Henry. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him, because in some ways Henry had a.
This in for 1 second.
What's
Amanda?
up?
But so have you heard of the Living Tombstone?
Yes.
Have you heard their songs?
Yes.
So if you go to the second Final Phrase 2 of their song, because apparently the mother, who was started singing it all, but it says now when I become a puppet, so does that mean the puppet has got a soul in it?
Yes, the puppet is Charlie.
Alright.
Yeah, that is actually confirmed. The puppet is Charlie, Henry's daughter. Unfortunately, she was killed because of Afton. Apparently, Afton was drinking at Junior's one night, got really, really drunk, and I want to say, again, this is all timeline. We'll dive more into the timeline during the group discussion, but Afton was upset, I think, at the death of, I want to say his son at this point. But he was drunk, and in a fit of drunken rage, he drove to the pizzeria and killed Charlie. Not realizing, I think, until, as he was doing it, it was Charlie, and that's what made him happy and made him want to kill more kids. As soon as he got all that rage and anger out, he felt good about life. which is fucked up because you just killed a kid, but he felt good about life. But that is why we had a security puppet, to keep the kids from walking out. And unfortunately, poor Charlie, she got left outside for some reason, couldn't get back in, and that damn puppet couldn't get out there to get her because somebody put presents on top of the puppet. So by the time the puppet got out there, it was too late. So the puppet kind of died with Charlie because the puppet was created by Henry for this very situation. This is why we had the toy animatronics, all with the upgraded technology, the facial recognition. It's because it's trying to keep an eye out for Afton, because Afton's already at this point in the game has killed people. We all know it was Afton, but we all can't prove it. So Henry, just to cover his bases and his ass, created the puppet, and unfortunately it still failed because Afton's just a son of a bitch. But you learn throughout the phone calls on this particular one, because unlike the phone calls in the the first game, we get, the original introduction, hey, welcome to your first day of the Fazbear's Pizzeria and all that. And then as the night progresses, the first one with the phone guy, he ends up telling you that, the animatronics move around, they're free roaming, they do weird things, they find you, they're going to try to stuff you inside of a suit because they think you're an endoskeleton without a suit. And then, I think it was, the fourth night, you end up hearing him die? Poor phone guy.
But everything is actually pre-recorded.
Right, so if that's the case, who the hell okayed that as a Fazbear work phone call video, whatever the hell it's supposed to be? Like, who okayed it? Who listened to that and went, yeah, we'll get this to our next night shift guard. He'll get a kick out of this. Like, seriously, who said that was okay?
But if everyone's ears is perfectly spot on, wasn't Five Nights at Freddy's 2 a phone call the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 guy?
Yes. It was, funny enough, the same phone guy who did the phone calls for this one.
Who died in FNAF 1.
Yup. Because I want to say, FNAF 2 is supposed to be the prequel, per se? Is that where... Again, we'll dive more into the timeline on the big group discussion, but isn't that... What I've heard, though, is that the second one's supposed to be, quote-unquote, a prequel to the first one?
Maybe, but he did mention Five Nights at Freddy's 1 that got burnt down.
Right.
Pay no attention to the Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Yeah.
Right, because somebody...
I'm more happy to bring up the audio, but I don't want you to get copyrighted or anything.
Right. Let's not do that now. Let's not do that.
I don't want to. I do not want to chance it.
But during these phone calls, you learn about, of course, the lockdown at the restaurant, and everybody, that the guy you're playing, Jeremy, he's going to get promoted to the day shift now, but he's got to survive the last night of, night 6? Is that when you get that phone call? Is it night 5 or 6? Yeah,
Okay, which one?
On FNAF 2, when you get the phone call about the restaurant being on lockdown, that's on the last night, right?
Yes. It's either on the last one or the bonus one, because
you're still
the phone
here.
guy literally says, what are you still doing? The place is currently closed for the... Just finish off your shift. Just finish off home because it's from the party the next day, something like that.
Yeah, there was supposed to be one more birthday party, but again, Afton planned all this. Because the whole reason why Afton was doing this was because he wanted to destroy Henry. He literally had a very vengeful rage against Henry for just Henry being Henry. Henry was smart with his animatronics. Henry was actually the brainchild of the animatronics. You should think about it. He's the one that designed a lot of this shit, and that is why Afton, started really going kind of hard with his design, started really researching and throwing himself into his work because he wanted to be better than Henry. But how do you get back at somebody you're jealous of? Well, you start taking everything he loves. His child, his business, his sanity. Afton was a fucked up man. He's jealous for no reason.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
like seriously, Afton was jealous for no reason. Like, he just wanted to find a reason to be jealous. But you find.
But that,
Oh, you go.
my mind is a little bit drift. My mind is a little bit drifting off. That's why I was like, a little bit confused. Is of what you were saying at first about the final the phone call thing, but you said Jeremy was gonna get transferred to the day shift. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, because that's who you're playing in the game. You're playing a guy named
Yeah,
Jeremy
but
Fitzgerald.
I know we're skipping past the whole entire thing, but if you remember, Help Wanted, one, when we die, the chat thing
Remember
says
Jeremy.
remember Jeremy. So does that mean it's trying to cast back to number 2?
That's quite possible, but we'll dive more into the VR game because that one, that's the game that starts really, like the whole multiverse.
God, right there.
Like, so we'll get that when we get there. But you find out though that Jeremy unfortunately was fired for tampering with the animatronics and for his odor, which I want to say you got fired in the first game. For what? Tampering with the animatronics and or your odor?
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone's smelling pretty fucking bad over here. But something I forgot to...
If he's tempering... But if he's tempering, then is the animatronics already not smelling from the first couple of days?
Well, it's not that, because remember they're saying that Jeremy and Mike Schmidt are supposed to be Michael in disguise going around these pizzerias looking for his dad and then burning the places down to the ground. This is why the first one burned down. But something I forgot to talk about when it came to the animatronics was, I made mention about the toy animatronics, but I didn't make mention of who the toy animatronics are. Of course, you got our beloved favorite Mangle. You got Bonnie, you got Freddy, you got Puppet, you got Balloon Boy, who's made his first appearance here.
There's also, again, there's some secret ones.
A couple of little secret ones that like to pop up here and there.
We got JJ, Shadow Bonnie, Shadow Freddy.
Yep, they make their little appearance, and they too also crash your game when you run into them.
I've not encountered any of them.
Neither have I. That's one of those I did not run into. And then, of course, you got the Wither animatronics, which are the OGs who are in the bag being used as parts. Now,
also, Golden Freddy, who is not a secret one, by the way.
Yeah, the Golden Freddy, I think, just pops up here and there. It doesn't crash your game like it did in the first one.
No.
But when it comes to FNAF 2 overall, I think this one has some of the more big points when it comes to lore. I want to say it's 2, 4, and Pizzeria Simulator that have like the big chunk of the OG lore that we all know and like dive straight on into, that we all just adore and eat up. Because again, with the mini games, you learn a lot of information. Granted, you learn it about not just Afton, but you learn a bit about why Henry's doing what he's doing, and that is because mainly just his daughter. His daughter got taken from him. Fuck you, Afton. That's all I gotta say, man. You are a weird, fucked up individual, and you need some professional help, some real professional help. You need Dr. Phil, you need Oprah. One of the two. Ooh, that joke. Ooh. Never mind, take that joke back. Those white chick jokes. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. It was a movie by the Wayans brothers. You know the line, you know why I'm laughing, but now that you think about it, it's kind of a fucked up joke now because nobody likes Oprah right now.
I have not seen it, I will admit.
Oh, White Chicks is a funny movie, man. White Chicks, it's hilarious. I love that movie. But let's continue on with the next entry into the gaming franchise, which was FNAF 3. FNAF 3, of course, was in 2015, and this was the one that was very divisive. This was the game that people just, you either liked it or you didn't. There was no like, give or take. With the second one, people loved the second one. People liked the first one. Nobody really cared much about the third one because it's not what a lot of people were used to.
There was only one killing.
Yeah,
there was only one killing animatronic.
Everything else you saw in there was Phantom animatronics.
Phantoms.
Which, with this one, it's another point-and-click game. You're in a little, oh god, what?
Office room.
Yeah, it's an office, but what is this supposed to be? Fazbear Frights? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Basically, we're in 2023, which is funny because we're in the good Lord of 2023. This is when the game actually takes place in 2023. So that could explain so much that's going on in this world right now. Someone has not destroyed the pizzerias. That's what's going on right now. Someone needs to go and stop acting right now. And then maybe the world will be just and right again. But, and,
so where will he strike next? No one knows.
Nobody will know, but all we know is he always comes back.
He always comes back.
But you play an unknown man. This guy, we don't really get to know his name. It doesn't really matter, though. The whole important aspect of this one is Springtrap. This is when we have our iconic Springtrap introduction.
Boy, it's one of my favorites.
I think it's a lot of people's favorites. It was also Afton's favorite, which actually adds to another point of why Afton was jealous of Henry. Because you remember in the fourth game, you find out they made a TV show based off of the Five Nights at Freddy's crew. Guess who wasn't in there? Golden Bonnie.
Golden Bonnie.
Yeah. Which is Afton's favorite one. Because think about it, in the Help Wanted, you find out that the outfit he's wearing is a Golden Rabbit suit. That was his favorite animatronic. That was his brainchild, his one. Because Freddy was inspired by something he saw when he was a child. Wait, do what?
Are you talking about Spring Bonnie?
Yes, the yellow bunny costume he wore in Help Wanted.
Yeah.
And I think we see it in FNAF 4 too, the yellow bunny.
Yeah, that's Spring Bonnie.
Yeah, Spring Bonnie. That was his favorite because that was his brainchild. Like Golden Freddy, or the yellow Freddy, was inspired by something he saw when he was a kid. And, that kind of stayed with him because apparently, from what I heard lore-wise, again, we'll discuss more of this during the general chat, but lore-wise, from what I heard, is Afton got inspired when he was a kid by a performing bear or something like that. And this bear just kind of stuck with him since he was a kid. So as he grew up, he wanted to recreate that joy and happiness. So he created the Golden Bear and the Golden Bonnie, who was his OG creation. And when him and Henry partnered up and they did a TV show, Golden Bonnie was cut. The fucking bear stayed, Afton's baby was cut, though. So that added to a bit of his jealousy as well. Just like, why did my favorite animatronic get cut from the show? Why is this one not important? This is my baby. He didn't like that very much. But as you are an unknown security guard, though, watching this horror theme attraction, you gotta deal with these Phantom animatronics who are burnt up, by the way. They're burnt. Did you notice that? The Phantom animatronics are burnt up. And they're all, of course, the OG characters. Foxy, Bonnie, Chica, Freddy, all of them. And the whole point is you gotta, keep Springtrap away from you. You gotta mess with vents. You don't really have to balance the I've noticed as well, after the first game, they really stepped away from the balancing of the power act to a degree. With this one, with the second one, they took that away. With this one, now you have to worry about your oxygen, which I found that one stupid. You had to worry about your oxygen. Like, what place doesn't give you good air to breathe? Why would you want to work there? I don't know. But you gotta worry about the ventilation. You gotta worry about the cameras. You gotta worry about your
cameras and audio.
And the audio and the family animatronics.
Or you can just reboot all. Or you can just reboot them all.
That's always what I do. I just hit the reboot all button. Just reboot all. But as the night progresses, instead of having a phone guy conversation, you now have a phone call from Phone Dude. He sounds like a hippie. He acts like a hippie. I think about it. Say, hey, welcome to your first day of the shift, man. Like, that's a hippie. He's a hippie. But this...
technically, in this, you're actually being put in the attraction. Not just
Yeah.
you, just like...
Yeah, you're
'cause,
part of
what he
the
says
attraction
is-
because you look the part.
Yeah, technically, not only just like watching the monitors, make sure nobody's doing drugs or whatnot, no one's making out in the corner. But you're just watching the cameras whilst being a part of the attraction.
Right. It's a very simple gimmick. And again, it's supposed to be Mike, and at this point, Mike is turning a little purple. His flesh is a little rotting and starting to smell a little bit because, again, which you don't find out till the sister location game, that, you know, he went through some shit. He's gone through some shit. So, you know, he ain't looking good, but he's on a mission, though. He's on a mission. And as the nights progress, you know, all you gotta do is the Phantom animatronics until I think, what, night 2 or 3? That's when Phone Dude tells you they actually found one walled up in the back of... A real life one walled up in the back of a unknown place that was taken off the maps because terrible things happened there. And you find out in the mini games the terrible things that happened there this is where Afton would take the kids to go kill them because it was out of line of sight of the animatronics, the cameras, people, and all. So these were like basically little safe rooms. Like, say you were in the spring trap suit. If a malfunction...
That was in FNAF 2, wasn't it? That was in FNAF 2, wasn't it?
What? What, the secret...
Well, it was either... I cannot quite remember. I think it was FNAF 3 or FNAF 2. But when you complete each night, then yeah, you get that little mini cutscene. Where you can play as each character from FNAF 1.
I think that's 3. That is 3 because you...
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Because...
Sorry, yeah, my bad, sorry.
Yeah, because there's all the spring trap thing.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, yes. My bad, you are correct.
Oh, it's fine, it's fine.
Because FNAF 2, at each of the start of each night, you get to look around as the character, as Freddy.
As Freddy, Foxy, Chica, and as you're looking through, somebody comes, the purple guy, who is Afton, comes and dissembles you. And you find out as the minigames progress that Afton...
Error.
As he was destroying these animatronics, accidentally set the soul of the children free. But instead of going off into the lovely abyss of heaven, they decided to gang up on poor Afton. And I say poor Afton in a sarcastic tone because fuck this motherfucker. And he, scared to death, hops into the spring suit that just happens to be in this room. Unfortunately, you find out something interesting about the spring lot suit, is that they're very, very touchy. Super touchy. You breathe on them wrong, they're going to collapse in on you and basically crush you to death. And that's exactly what happened to Afton. He hopped in the spring lot suit and got killed.
Wasn't that water dripping from the
moisture for the spring lot suit, and him moving around activated it, crushing him. And unfortunately, for some reason, his rage and anger kept him alive all these years. Don't ask me why this man refused to die, but this man refused to die. So when Phone Dude finds the Springtrap and brings him in, well, Springtrap is coming at your ass that entire time. And again, this goes back to, you're playing Michael, which makes sense of why Springtrap's trying to kill you. It's not because you're a security guard. He recognizes his son as like, bitch. Revenge is my first name, and I'm here to stab it. Because think about that. He kind of blames
William revenging Afton.
Well, you gotta think, to a degree, it's kind of Michael's fault. Granted, Afton is still, a serial killer and everything, But if it wasn't for Michael doing what he did to his brother and traumatizing Afton the way he did, Afton probably wouldn't have lashed out the way he did. Think about that. It takes one bad day, as the Joker would say. It takes one bad day, and that was his bad day. So it would make sense that he would blame Michael for this whole situation, why he's so angry with Michael, and why he would want to kill Michael. But the plot of this one, of course, like I said, you discover about the safe rooms where, you know, if you had any kind of malfunctions with the spring lot suit, you were supposed to go in there and bleed to death because, you know, you didn't want to die in front of children now. I always thought that was great. I always thought that was great. Just go over there in that room and just slowly bleed to death. Try not to show the kids blood. Let them know that you're dead. Nah, you'll be alright. We'll call an ambulance. And then, unfortunately, you learn about an incident at the sister location where simultaneously failures of the spring light suits activated. So that's one of like the bigger like plot things. And unfortunately, when it comes to lore-wise, this one's pretty big because this is more about the background information that we need to know about Afton, about, you know, what happened to him, and did he get his just desserts? And in some ways, he kind of did. He kind of got his instant karma. If you do the mini games and survive, I want to say you set the original 5 kids free from their anger and.
So you've got. So after each of the start of each night, when you get put as each character, you're roaming through the Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Each one of each of the hallways, there will be like some sort of like a hint or something like that, and you've got to, you know, do those when you get into the game thing. And once when you've done that and you complete that, but I know you don't go through the exit. There's like some sort of like a little barrier which you can just like hop out, go out the world, and you can carry on.
Yeah, the invisible walls that you have to get through.
Yeah, invisible walls. Yeah. So as when you do that, you can carry on
and that's basically like a secret mini game you can do. You can kind of cut through all the other mini games, and you give each kid. I want to say is it this one or is it the next one where you give each kid the mask, and then that's when the little spirits go off, or is that the 4th game?
I think that one is still a Five Nights at Freddy's 3, but if you die most times, you can get like a different death game, something like that.
Happy Death Day? Or Happy...
No, like a death game. Like a death cutscene game.
Right. And I'm trying to remember the name of the mini game or the name of the cutscene. I can't remember it. Again, that's why you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to remember this shit.
Yeah. That's why I'm telling you. Because the more times you die, the more games you get.
Well, I didn't really die too terribly much in FNAF 3 because it's super easy to do with Springtrap. Like, super easy. And that's literally just to keep them in one little section, just going back and forth. Like, there's, I think, like, 2 rooms up top you can, like, make them go back and forth between. And as long as you keep them up there with the children's laughter, you're good. You're golden. Like, he's not even phased. It's super easy. Like, this was even easier than FNAF 2. I'm not gonna lie. But this one's very heavy on the lore when it comes to the, background for Afton and what happened to him and everything. Big not contingency, but a big part of the FNAF lore overall. This is why a lot of people kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's 3, because it has this information that we desperately need to know about Afton, because, we all want to know more about the guy who's killing these poor innocent little kids because he's jealous and angry over a man that's just as smart as him. Again, there is just no point for this man to be jealous. But here we are, several games in, this man is still killing kids because he is just a jealous individual. Afton, seriously, man, get some help, man. Get some like professional help. But I enjoyed 3. But now we're gonna go to everybody's favorite FNAF game. This seems to be the top game everybody seems to love. We're talking about Five Nights at Freddy's 4. In 2015, we have yet another point and click. We have not stepped away from the point and click aspects just quite yet. A lot of the games stick with the point and click type of games until I think Pizzeria Simulator, which kind of did like a half and half thing. And then once that was ending, Ultimate Customize,
my God,
I think was the last one. Yeah, because how one it was VR, Security Breach was 3D, free roaming, the DLC was free roaming. And yes, I know we have FNAF World, which is an RPG. Unfortunately, I don't really see much lore to that one. I think that was more of a joke game. I think even Scott himself said it was a joke game. I don't think there's any... FNAF World, the RPG one?
Yeah, that was kind of like a little joke game.
Yeah, so that one's, you know, really not important to the canons of the story or anything like that. But,
No. It's just to bring them all back in, but more cuter. You can play around with them.
Yeah, again, the simple little RPG
things. Yeah, I have played FNAF World.
I watched Andrew play that one.
Matter of fact, if I remember correctly, the Freddy in space was actually
in
Five Nights
FNAF
at
World.
Freddy's. Well, FNAF World, yeah.
Yep, and again,
I was actually in there.
Yeah, again, that's why I don't really talk about Freddy in space as well, because again, that was all just a joke. You know, nothing dealing with the lore or anything. But with FNAF 4, this is where we get the perspective of a child now. We're no longer a grown adult in a security office watching this craziness. We are now a child in their bedroom, and you have to go from one side of the bedroom to the other and look down the hallways, keep doors closed. Now they brought back the balancing of the damn flashlight, so now you gotta make sure that stupid flashlight's charged, because for some reason...
In fact, no. It doesn't actually run out.
Oh, so it doesn't run out? Okay, so we didn't hit that yet.
It doesn't run out.
Okay, that's Help Wanted where they added that feature then.
Yeah.
I hate the Five Nights at Freddy's batteries. Those batteries suck. They're like old 1980s, 1990 flashlights. You just gotta bang them to make them work.
That was only the plush babies. And back in Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, that's the only when it runs out.
Still, though, the Five Nights at Freddy's batteries, they suck. They release... wait a minute. Security breach. Because you gotta use that flashlight everywhere. You gotta constantly keep that bitch charged.
Yes.
Again, the batteries suck from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Only the main one, DLC was infinite. DLC was infinite.
Yeah, thank God for that. Thank God for that. But, again, you're a child...
you know what else you can say thank God for?
What?
Is that we did not have to save, like, constantly before continuing.
Oh, yeah, thank God for that. Seriously, I think I saved like 10,000 times. I say 10,000 times in security breach.
Yeah.
But continuing on with 4, though, again, we're a child in a child's bedroom. We just gotta, watch the closet, make sure the foxy head doesn't get in there. Watch the bed, make sure the little Freddle heads don't pop up. Watch the doors. And we're dealing with the best design, best looking, I have to say, of all the animatronics is the Nightmare animatronics. Again, I'm a sucker for the OG look, but the Nightmares, I'm not gonna lie, great design-wise. They're super scary. And with this one, you learn throughout the mini-games that little crying boy, little crying child, little striped shirt, he's being tormented.
Yeah.
But he's being tormented.
I would say mostly like bullied as well. Bullied.
Tormented and bullied by his brother and his peers because he doesn't want to watch his brother because, daddy's always working and, trying to get shit done. So why should he have to carry this child everywhere and watch this child who is freaking out because unfortunately these children are Afton's children, so they're being used as experiments right now for a new little sound device that makes you see shit. Because Afton is trying to keep his children wired to hell and back after his daughter was killed, which you find out in Sister Location about that. But, yeah, he's just trying to freak his kids out and experiment on them because Afton's a wonderful father. Just a great man all over. I can't even say that with a straight face, man. Fuck you, Afton. Why you... I mean, I'm sorry, man. Like, this man is killing random kids, and then he's being a douchebag to his own kids. Like, you're a terrible individual, man. You're a horrible individual. Like, sorry, not sorry. You're a horrible individual.
A horrible father.
But as the mini games progress and we go through each night, you learn slowly and sadly that the little crying child, unfortunately, was picked up by his brother, thrown into the mouth of the Freddy animatronic, and then crushed.
Fredbear.
Yep. Destroy that poor little kid. Killed him. Was that the bite of 87? No. I think that was the bite of, 84, 83?
84, I think it was. There's a load of blooming bites.
Too many bites. But I can tell you, it's not the bite of 87, though. It's not the bite of 87. But one of the more sadder lines in this, I even wrote this one down because it's so sad.
The bite of 80s.
It's, again, 83, 84. But as
I think it was bite of 83.
Bite of 83. Okay. Like I said, I couldn't remember if it was 83 or 84. But as you play these mini games and the poor child is dealing with stuff in the bedroom, you see like an IV, you see pill bottles, you see flowers, and you come to the conclusion that this child you are playing...
83.
Oh, 83? Okay. But you come to the conclusion that this child, unfortunately, it's dying. We watch this child, unfortunately, die, and at the end of the game, he's sitting there with his, as Matt Pat would put it, his best friend, psychic friend, Fredbear. Psychic friend, Fredbear. The little plushie, though, is communicating with him via walkie-talkie by Afton in his underground bunker underneath the house. And one of the other mini games you get to play is Fun with Springtrap, where you have to hit Springtrap on the X with his light.
Yep. Also, I think Bloom Boy was on there as well, but you don't really get to see much of him.
Right. But as you're going through the mini games and stuff, you find out the poor little boy died. The last thing he hears before he passes away is, "I will fix you. I will put you back together again." Which means a lot when it comes to the lore, because again, this little boy is the whole reason.
That means Gregory has got to be the son then.
Yeah, again, that's
from
more.
The mother.
Yeah, that's more of the lore discussion we can have in the group conversation. But
I'm good. I'm gonna quickly make a note of that because that actually brings out a lot.
Again, watch that video I sent you. I'm gonna send you, man. Like, I swear you're gonna look at that video and just jaw on the floor because there's so much information. We're talking about one of Matt Pat's video. He actually did a full timeline discussion. It's a 2-hour video, but man, it explains so much. And again, we'll probably talk about that on the group discussion. But yeah, with this one though, you find out, I will put you back together again. It's the last words this little poor boy hears before he passes away. And this whole game, it's just so good. It's so good lore-wise, story-wise, gameplay-wise. It is a fun game. It's one of my favorites out of the bunch. It's like my second favorite, because again, I still am a sucker for the original OG. No, I take that back. It's my third favorite because I give it to the VR, actually. The VR had the combination of all the games I absolutely love just put together in the VR mode. Absolutely love that. But with the FNAF 4's lore, though, this tells you more of the actions and motive of why things have been put into place now. Why Afton is kind of acting out a little bit. You know, this was the start of his downfall. This was it. And it was all Michael's fault for fucking with his brother, not thinking he was going to do anything. But because of the spring lot suit and the boy was crying and moist the spring lot animatronic parts of it and unfortunately crushed his poor little skull, killing him. I felt bad. Out of all the characters I feel bad for him the most. Out of all the characters, he's the one I feel for the most. Him and Emily.
I think it was. I thought it was like a hospital
Elizabeth.
ward type of thing, because as each night, if you look at the bed, there should supposed to be some sort of like hospital thing.
Yeah, the IV, the flowers, the pill bottles, stuff like that. But this is also the game we were discussing earlier about the mysterious box at the end. Like, what's in the box? Some things are not meant to be answered just quite yet, and that's where it kind of ties in. And if you think about it, you know, with the fact that I made the mention about Charlie being in the box from the books being an animatronic, and we're dealing with the little boy, because the theory is Gregory, the robot, or not robot, but Gregory, the boy from the security breach game.
The security breach.
Yeah, security breach. He's supposed to be the animatronic of the crying child because they look identical. And I can't argue with that. You know, brown hair, brown eyes, same striped shirt.
That's what I was saying as well. Not just because of that, but since you can just see, like, you know, the plush, which is like follows you everywhere through the little cutscene thing. But again, when it said I'll fix you, I'll put you back together, that must probably be the mother actually saying to him, I will fix you, son.
Actually, I think if I'm correct on this one, it's not the mother saying this one per se. I want to say it's Michael apologizing or Afton saying it. Again, I'm not 100% sure on this one. It could be the mother. It could be Michael going, because we know Michael says some stuff to him. We know Michael, apologizes for doing this to his brother. Because again, he wasn't trying to kill his brother on purpose. It wasn't planned. It was just a prank gone wrong, like a horrible prank. Like, granted, as an older sibling, you should never do pranks like this towards your younger siblings. No. But again, Michael didn't mean for this to happen. This is why he feels guilty and why he's doing what he's doing. Again, this game is important because of the fact that, you got the first game, which established the motives, or not the motives, but the actual story, the 5 missing kids, someone's killing them. And you got the second game, which is more of, Henry's aspect of what was going on. His child ended up getting killed. This is why we had the puppet. This is why, why Henry's doing what he's doing. Then you got the third game, which is why Afton's doing what Afton's doing. Because, Afton ended up becoming Springtrap. And then the fourth game, this is where you learn why all this got started to begin with. And it's because this poor little boy ended up dying. And then because of this, the incidents that continue on throughout the rest of the game, it keeps stacking up. It keeps stacking up and just getting worse and worse, all because of a prank gone wrong. Think about that. And just how sad that is. Like, honestly, just think how sad that is. This man is going around killing children and killing people and destroying a business because he's jealous and angry, all because his eldest son did a prank that went wrong on the younger one. And now because of this man won't stop. This man cannot be stopped. This man will always come back and keep killing kids over and over again because he's just angry. And this is a man who hasn't properly dealt with grief. And I think that's one of the bigger aspects of the Five Nights at Freddy's games and some subtext. Ways of not dealing with grief. This is people not dealing with grief at all. This is people just throwing themselves into work, going, I can fix this. It reminds me of oh god, what's that movie? Not movie, TV show. Haunting of Hill House, where Hugh's constantly like, I can fix this. I can do this. Like, let me fix this. Hugh, you can't fix this. You cannot fix this. It's the whole point of your arc here, to learn that you cannot fix everything. And that is what Afton and Henry and everybody in this whole game franchise is failing to learn. They cannot fix things. They're not dealing with their grief properly, so this is tailspin, a whirl spin, because people cannot deal with grief properly. And I think that's a big, heavy message here to a degree, because in actual reality, people don't deal with grief well. Think about it. You got the people who shut down, who just lock themselves in the room, they just cry. You got people who drink themselves because they don't want to deal with their emotions. You got people who get angry, just want to fight. You got people who pretend that everything's fine. They're keeping that shit bottled in until they have an outburst and they're not okay. And that's something as humans we don't know really how to deal with, is with grief. You know, what's the proper way to grieve? How do you grieve, especially if you lose a child? How do you grieve? How do you deal with that? And unfortunately, there's right ways to deal with it, there's wrong ways to deal with it, and Afton and Henry and everybody chose the complete wrong way. Trying to bring people back to life, trying to play God, trying to act like judge, jury, and executioner. It's seriously, think about that. The fact that, people are just, they're not dealing with their shit. And because they can't deal with their shit, they're causing more people to deal with their shit. And it's just a shit story. That's all this is. It's a shit show. It's a shit show with a shit storm. But the first 4 games are the most important games of the entire franchise because of this. This is where all the main meat and potatoes of the lore come from, is these 4 games. Then, like I said, in 2016 we got FNAF World, but we're not going to talk about that one because that was a joke game. And then we get to the next big game that was more lore heavy, explain now Michael's side.
Once when FNAF World actually finishes, that's when Baby actually first came into play on it. That's when Baby first got
right. That was
revealed.
like her little introduction. Like, this is the new character we're gonna deal with in the new game, and that's where Sister Location comes in at. Sister Location is now Mike's whole journey. We had the first 4 games, which explained the entire, lore and meat and potatoes of the entire Five Nights at Freddy's universe in general. Now, with this game, with Sister Location and Pizzeria Simulator, that's fine. But with Sister Location and Pizzeria Simulator, this is all on Michael's perspective, his side of everything. And unfortunately, it's not good for Michael. So in Sister Location, we now have some new animatronics. We have the Funtime animatronics. You got Funtime Foxy, Funtime Freddy, with his little buddy, oh god, what's the name of his little puppet? Happy, Helpy, something like that, his little puppet though. I think it's very creepy in the VR game. But you got him, you got Ballora, who's supposed to be a representation of Mrs. Afton. And then you have Baby. Now, the way Sister Location starts off is a little different compared to the other 4 games of the main title, and we get a little introduction of Baby herself before we start the game. Just some of these design choices are kind of questionable. She can make balloons out of her fingertips. She can serve ice cream. She's got several songs. She could dance. She can sing. That whole little opening right there of just who Baby is, and you learn throughout the game how sophisticated the Funtime animatronics are. They have voice mimicking, where they can mimic parents and other children. They got more kind of tankage to hide the children in. Like, Afton went all out when creating the designs for the Funtime animatronics. But you play Michael, who has gone down to Circus Baby Entertainment and Rental, And yet again, we're in another point and click game. Now this one's a bit different because now we have a couple of mini games where you have to like hide from the baby, not baby, but the minarinas. You gotta hide from them and like keep the little vent closed. You got the fun time Foxy mini game where you have to kind of avoid him, Ballora as well. You know, not to make any noises or sound. You gotta kind of creep around in the dark a little bit. But as you're playing the game and as you go through the mini games, you learn the story of Baby, and you find out that Baby was created by Afton for his daughter because his daughter loved her. He would never let her anywhere near her, and she's even made comments about that. Just, Daddy, why can't I play with her? You made her for me, didn't you, Daddy? Daddy knows what he created, and Daddy's just like, no, baby girl, you can look at her from afar. But you find out during the mini games that unfortunately she didn't listen to her father. She was the last remaining child left of Apton, and she walked into the performing area. I think the day they opened Circus Baby's rental, and this, oh my god, I feel this is the second one I feel bad for.
This one was the very first throwable thing, since after each time you die, that's when you get like the Circus Baby minigame.
And you gotta
So you
do
got to do
these.
it in that same sort
Yeah,
of pattern.
yeah, you gotta do it in a particular way, otherwise you're not gonna get the
Yeah.
lore information you need. But you find out that this poor little girl, she goes in there to investigate, and I think even Baby talks about it in the game, where she's like, there was one children, then 5, then 3, then 5, then 1.
Yeah.
And that one
That
was,
one.
unfortunately, Elizabeth.
That's a little secret, little mini, like secret thing.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly how you're supposed to get that one, but I do remember that conversation because it's kind of creepy hearing it from Baby's perspective.
I do.
How do you get it? Because I don't remember.
So basically, one of the nights, when you're in the where you can go left, right, forwards, is because you got the Blora, you got the Funtime Foxley Oratorium, where it'll tell you to go through one of them, if I remember correctly, is when you gotta go through Funtime Foxy's, but the forwards, which goes to Circus Baby's Oratorium thing, that will open as well, but I think he might tell you you don't have to go through, gotta go forwards, but
You go
if you
anyway,
do
and that's how you
that,
get the lore.
yes, but then you go underneath the desk, and then she will talk. So you got to go underneath the
The
desk
desk, so
thing
you
where
can
where
hear
you
the
do
lore.
the bitty bab thing. You know, underneath that.
Yeah, I know exactly what minigame you're talking about,
Yeah.
but again,
You got to
I
go
love
underneath there
I love
when the
that though.
front opens again. So
Yeah.
once when the forward opens, you go through there, go underneath the desk. Then she'll start talking.
Was like I was saying, I love hearing the story from Baby's perspective because of the fact she's so innocent about it. Like she had, to a degree, no clue what she was programmed to do. She just knew that she needed that child.
Serve ice cream. I think she was supposed to serve ice cream and everything.
Yeah, and she got to do it that one time. That one time she made ice cream. Lord, poor Elizabeth up there, and Elizabeth unfortunately got got, and she died. Which I never did get that. If he designed the Funtime animatronics to house the children,
She was like a chest burst.
why is it when Baby grabbed Elizabeth, she ended up dying? That's always been my problem with a little bit of the story. Is if they were simply made to house children, was Baby not made to house living children? So then why does she have the ability to grab kids? Like after you didn't think that one all the way through, did you? But again, that's just my thoughts on that one. It's just the fact that
I think she was activated. I think he activated her, then went off to do something or get something.
Yeah, and that's
and
when
then
Elizabeth
realized.
kind of wandered in and then
Yeah.
got. But still, though, my argument is, if he designed the Funtime animatronics to house children, why is it when Baby grabbed Elizabeth, she ended up dying? Was she not the right size for the animatronic? Did he not have that one particularly implanted inside a Baby? Like, I'm not too sure about Baby's kind of design in some aspects. Because, again, we know with, like, Funtime Foxy, not Foxy, Freddy, he's got the housing compartment for one that's child-shaped.
In my eyes, I think what her role was, but she wasn't fully completed. But in my eyes, I think she was only going to be serving little ones, like ice cream or something like that. But since there was a little malfunction that made her,
Kill Elizabeth. And
yeah,
unfortunately, ended up closing Circus Baby's rentals down
yeah,
because of
little
a
bit
quote
like
unquote
a
gas
sensor.
leak. Eh,
Yeah, I
Gas
think it's a
leak.
little motion sensor
Uh,
that made her trigger that thing.
but
I
at,
think
but
that's what that thing was.
But yeah, after that fortune mini game, some of the other big things you find out during the game as well. Of course, you got the Innard. You can do a secret ending where Innard follows you home, and you learn about Innard. I think a lot more in the books. Oh crap! Almost dropped my vape. But you learn about
So you
Innard more
either
in the
get
books.
scooped. The scooped is the proper way, but you've got to complete the mini game to get the secret
Yeah,
ending.
yeah. Unfortunately, the canon ending is the scooping room where Baby tricks you into the scooping room to scoop your innards
Which
out. So
isn't
she,
baby.
yeah, I think it's innard that ends up doing that
Ennard.
shit. Yeah,
Baby was never speaking in the first place. He was always broken from the start of the game.
and it was all innard because she was part of innard, and then
And mind gaming.
yeah, and innard wanted to get inside of Michael so they can start walking around. But when they realized that three personalities in one body was not working out for them, they ended up just dipping out. Just going, bye, pieces.
Yeah.
And then poor Michael's now left with a rotten corpse over here. His body's all messed up for housing two pissed off animatronics. One of them, which is his sister, and you find that out, as you're playing the game. And then one of my other,
Final Phrase 4.
wait, do what?
So, in Final Fantasy Phrase 4, when it comes to the cutscene where they're outside, you see a bunch of different kids or whatnot. There was this one girl with ginger hair and all of that, which actually identically looks like Baby.
Yeah. And that's actually how you can tell that Elizabeth is inside a Baby, because I think Baby was designed with blue eyes, and when Elizabeth took over her body, she had green eyes because Elizabeth's eyes were green.
Yeah.
One of the other things
Yeah.
I adored about Sister Location was the after you finish your shift, you went home to eat your popcorn and watch a TV show. I can't remember the name of the TV show, but you
I
watched.
cannot.
It's supposed to be like a knockoff of Young and the Restless, but it was
I will. I will get back to you with that one.
I mean, it's fine, but I just love it because the story is this woman's married to Dracula, and Dracula is convinced the baby's not his. He's your son. Look at him.
The
He is not.
Immortal and the Restless.
That's it, the Immortal and the Restless. Like I said, it's supposed to be Young and the Restless knockoff, but the baby's not mine. He sleeps on the ceiling. The baby is not mine. like,
Oh,
dude,
that's
that
a
looks just like
classic.
your kid. That looks just like your kid. But the underlying story of
will
that.
I have not finished. I have not finished Sister Location. I just given up on it.
Oh, I mean, it is a little difficult near the end. I'm not gonna lie. I struggled hard on that one. Yeah, this is where difficulty has definitely spiked up. I don't think, unlike the other four original games that had like a 6 to 7 night cycle, not cycle, but levels you can do. I want to say this one kind of did something very similar where you had like 7 levels, or is it just the 5 to 6 levels? I can never keep track on who's got the extra levels per game because again, so many games over 10 years. But the underlining story to the Immortal and the Restless is supposed to be, I want to say, Afton and his wife arguing about the baby not being his. I want to say it's supposed to be maybe Michael, the crying child, probably. I want to say probably Michael, saying that, Michael isn't his, especially after Michael killed the crying child. I would want to disown my own son too if he killed his brother. Especially about somebody like Afton, who's just living on rage and anger, man. That's what he eats. He wakes up every morning and he has himself a big cup of anger. Not coffee, anger. He just wakes up angry. He wakes up jealous and angry and just, who am I gonna fuck over today? That's seriously how Afton probably wakes up every morning. I'm not even gonna lie. But yes, this location is very important because of the fact that we get to see Michael's perspective. This is how we get started with Michael and following him on his journey, and we learn about what happened to him after the incident of FNAF 4. We find out, he got taken over by Baby. He's a rotten corpse. Thus is why he smells in the original 2 games, why he is tampering with shit. It kind of explains now whether Scott actually, again, planned this 100% or if this is one of those things he kind of threw out and was just like, oh, this works, this kind of fits, and this fits with the way everyone's saying. We don't know. But the point is, this location is still a very important game when it comes to lore. Then we get on to the another game that a lot of people like. Because people like 4, Sister Location, and then Pizzeria Simulator. Now, a Pizzeria Simulator, that one came out in 2017, and this one is a combination of a point and click. Mainly the point and click aspects is after you ran your, what is supposed a franchise. You basically have a franchise of Freddy Fazbear's, and you're the owner of it.
You get to build up your own pizzeria.
Yeah, you're part of the franchise holders. So what you end up doing is after you end up doing the business simulation, which is you buying the animatronics to put on stage.
That's where Helpy first came along.
Yeah, and you got the Candy Cadet, and this is where you have all the really good mini games where you learn more lore. This one is chock full of lore. This was just lore heavy. This is why I love this game. And this one's like super lore heavy because you got the Midnight Motorist, the Fruity Maze one, which is very creepy. That Fruity Maze one creeps me the hell out because you're playing a little girl who is playing the game normally, and then you start seeing blood drops and weird things happening, and eventually you see Afton in his bunny outfit, the golden bunny that he loves so much, come up behind her and just go, oh, your dog? Yeah, your dog didn't get hit by that car. I actually have your dog. He's out back. You want to come see him? Tricks this poor little girl so he can murder her viciously and violently. I think that's actually, what's her name? Starts with an S. She was the first. Because you had, she's the one, quote unquote, possessing Chica, because she was the first. Cassidy was the one that should not have been killed. Poor Cassidy. But the little blonde girl we see, though, she was the first. She's seen it all. And then Midnight Motorist is when you find out.
Her name is called Susie. It's Chica.
Thank you. I knew it started with an S, and I wanted to say Susie, but I was like, is it Susie or Sarah? I couldn't remember. But yeah, the mini games are just like the highlight of this whole situation. But you got the business the business simulator, which is, again, you got to put all the animatronics and the things out. You learn about the stories of the 5 things from Candy Cadet, which that is a common thing you hear a lot about Candy Cadet. Anytime he makes an appearance, he's always got to tell you a story about 5 things becoming 1, which is very, very freaky as a child's toy. Why would you want that in your pizzeria? I don't know. Why would you want something that's going to tell a child a scary story? I don't know. But you got one. You got your arcade games. You got your fun times. You know, you're gonna have a great time playing the business aspects. And then you got the point and click aspects where you're sitting down and you gotta like order something, and you got to keep an eye out on the vents and everything, because one of the other big things you got to do is in paragraph 4, and that is every night at the end of your shift you got to go in the back and retrieve an animatronic, and you have to check off whether or not it's good, like, because this has all been created by Henry, because he's got an idea. Like, he's got a fabulous idea, and you learn throughout the game that the idea is he is going to trap all the animatronics, all of them, the children that are still alive and angry, his daughter, all these, you know, Afton himself, who somehow survived his bullshit from the third game. He's going to trap them all in this place and burn the building to the ground. And oh my god, I love that, because you don't, first of all, you don't see that shit coming. Second of all, the fact that the puppet sneaks her way in, and you don't even realize it until unless you're paying attention. She's inside of Lefty. She's in Lefty. Unless you're looking at Lefty's arm, you don't even know that she's in there. So the fact that Henry was able to somehow get all the like even Scrap Baby, because you got Scrap Baby, who is the remains of what's left of Baby after leaving Michael and Ennard, because her and Ennard didn't get along. You got Lefty, who's got the puppet. You got Molten Freddy. I think that's what it is. Is it Molten Freddy? What kind of Freddy is he?
Yep.
Yeah, Molten Freddy. You got
Molten
him.
Freddy.
You got fucking Afton's. I don't even know what to call his look, to be honest. It's not one of my favorite looks. Out of all the looks he ever had, design wise, it's not one of my favorites. Like, I'm not saying he looks bad, but it's questionable. It's questionable. But
Scrap Trap.
Yeah, Scrap Trap. But his design was god awful. I'm not gonna lie, god awful.
Yeah, because this is just looking at that, then going all the way over to.
Well, what he looked like in the third game.
Security breach.
Yeah, even the security
From
breach.
that going on this, like, you can just picture those two together, like how it does not really fit in, does it?
No, compared to a lot of the other animatronics. It's just I guess they didn't really think his design all the way through. Again, it's just not one of my favorite designs. I like his look from FNAF 3. I really like that look. He's kind of creepy, decrepit, you know, like got the holes and all that shit. This one, he looks goofy. I think they did an overly sized big head. But again, I think he just picked a bunny animatronic. I think there's probably a spare. I don't remember how he ended up getting into that particular one, but somehow his soul is attached to this particular ugly bunny. Like, don't ask me why he picked that. Out of all the design choices he could have done, or all the animatronics he could have picked from, he chose an ugly fucking bunny. But Afton's there.
Time he burns as well.
Oh yeah, that too. Like, you would think. Honest to God, you would think. But somehow, he still makes it. But Henry's plan is successful. Michael also burns there as well. And Henry, because Baby originally thought it was her plan. She's like, I got you where I want you. I'm going to destroy you. And then Henry comes out and goes, I'm going to have to cut you off right there, Elizabeth. Sorry. But this is actually my plan, baby girl. This is my plan, and we're all gonna die here. You're gonna die, Michael's gonna die, Afton's gonna die. We're all gonna have a great time, but we're all gonna die. And hell, he even apologizes to his daughter, Charlie. He's just like, listen, baby girl, I know you're here, and I'm so sorry about this, but we gotta do this. And burns the place to the ground. Is beautiful. Like, I love the ending to this game because it's so dramatic, and it actually has one of my favorite fucking lines throughout this whole franchise. Like, this is my favorite line, and it comes from Henry himself when he's
I always come back.
No, that's Afton's line. I'm talking about Henry's epic line when he's at the end when he's going through. For some of y'all, this hopefully can help y'all rest in peace. For others, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole, so don't keep the devil waiting, old friend. I love that jab Henry takes at Afton. Just, hell's waiting for you. Don't keep him waiting. I love it. That's my favorite line Henry's ever said. Out of all the lines ever spoken throughout all the games, Henry's line right there is one of my favorites because it is so powerful. That is a father's rage right there going, the darkest pits of hell has come to swallow you. Don't keep him waiting. Do not keep that devil waiting. Love it though. But unfortunately, the anger and will of the mission for Afton is so strong that unfortunately everybody else has died. You know, everybody else has died. Everybody else but Cassidy has moved the fuck on. Everybody else is just like, you know what? We're gonna do what you said, Henry. Peace out and float off to heaven. Cassidy, on the other hand, is just like, this motherfucker is not gonna die peacefully. Oh, hell no, we ain't done with him yet. And this is where we go on to another fantastic game called Ultimate Custom Night. Ultimate Custom Night is a little slice of heaven for those who want to watch Afton be brutally tortured for the rest of his life, because Cassidy ends up taking him to purgatory and making him relive hell over and over and over and over again, because that's what he deserves. And her anger and rage is so strong that even Old Man Consequence tells her to let it go. Because you find that in one of the mini games there. Because again, we go back to the formula. This is 2018, so we're back to the formula, the point and click. But everybody is on like, oh god, like super awesome mega mode almost. Because everybody's on point with their jump scares. Design wise, everything looks good. And just the fact that you find out that this is just supposed to be purgatory for Afton. It's just beautiful. It's perfect. But unfortunately, that's only part of Afton. Because some of them went inside of the animatronic suit. For some reason, don't ask me how he was able to split his soul. Granted, at the end of Sister Location, of course we have... is it the end of Sister Location where he says, I always come back? Or is it at the end of this one? He pops up and says, I always come back.
I know it was one of his lines on Pizzeria Simulator for when you get killed by him.
Oh, okay. I remember he says. I just couldn't remember exactly where he says it. But yeah, but yeah, Pizzeria Simulator ties in extremely well with Ultimate Custom Nights. I think those are two good games together.
I think he does say it as well on Ultimate Custom Night, because every majority of the characters do have their own lines.
Right, and that's actually what makes Ultimate Custom Nights really, really good, because you learn a lot of lore, and you get to hear from the victims towards Afton. You know, of course you got Susie, who's just as Chica. It's just like, I've seen it all. I was the first. You got one of them where it's, you know, the one that should not have been killed.
Mr. Hippo.
Yeah.
Mr. Hippo is the only one who like tells you like a story. It's like I think that there is a lot of stories.
Yeah, and this one, this is where we get a full introduction to the MIDI core melodies. Like, we get a little bit of an introduction with them on the Pizzeria Simulator, because with Pizzeria Simulator, of course, we have the MIDI core, Metacore. Fuck, what's that word I'm looking for? I done lost the word. English has just left my brain. I don't know what language I am speaking, but it is not English.
I do not know what you're trying to say.
Say it for me, man. Not medical. It's not medical. It's an average, basic. Starts with an M. MIDI-core, Metacore. Oh, God, I can't say. I can't English right now. I just can't English. I cannot English. But the point is the melodies. The fucking average melodies over here, okay? You got the hippo. You got the frog. No, they're like MIDI-core. Again, the word I'm looking for is another word for the word average. They're normal, average. It starts with an M. I can't English right now. I just cannot English right now. So I'm having problems saying the word. But they're all supposed to represent farm animals, and they're the good, quote unquote, good animatronics and Pizzeria Simulator. They're the ones that are not going to attack you. But with them here, dude, let's just cut the string off right now. We'll come back to this. Well, we're gonna cut the string off right here. Okay, let's not even worry about what they're called. The point is, these fucking Melody Farm animals are more important than we realize in this game. Because the whole point of the hippo is he's supposed to bore you to death. With his long ass stories. Oh my god. I will admit, anytime I got killed by that hippo, I was like so pissed off. I'm like, now I gotta sit here and listen to this guy drawing on and on about a fucking bird and about his friends feeding the damn ducks or the birds or whatever the hell it was supposed to be. It was aggravating. It was so annoying, but we love him anyways. But yeah, you get a lot of good like one-liners, a lot of good information and back stories to a degree of some of the victims he's killed. And I really like that because now this is Afton being confronted by the people he has killed. And this is just something I think a lot of ghosts wish they could do. Just show up in purgatory with their killer and go, oh, do you remember me, motherfucker? Do you remember me? But,
Mr. Hippo's friend is Orville, who he always mentions in a story.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, no, this game, I will say, do not skip this one. A lot of people really don't know how to feel about Ultimate Custom Night, because they just think it's literally a custom game where you just have fun, pick different places to do the spooky jump scares and call it a day.
The more checkpoints you get like some sort of cutscene.
Yeah, with like what
anime,
Chica. Yeah, you got the Chica, like high school Chica. You got Freddy fighting somebody at like a kung fu movie. Like, and it's all important to the lore. It's all lore accurate. Like the whole. Like the Chica story, you know, where you find out Chica's stalking somebody. That's supposed to be the representation of Afton going after Cassidy and about how grotesque and violent he was. Apparently, Cassidy was the only victim out of all the children where he was just full force. Like, he did not hold back. I don't know what his problem was with Cassidy, but he was very, very, very violent towards her. Like, don't get me wrong, he was violent towards the other kids. But for some reason, he lost his shit with Cassidy and, like, brutally killed her. Like, it wasn't just like a simple kill. Like, he brutally murdered her. And even he at the end was just like, man, that was overkill. That was just fucking overkill. And you find that out to a degree with some of the stories. And like with the Chica one, you find out that's how he started kidnapping Cassidy. That he pushed sack over her head, hit her upside the head with a shovel, and then took her to another place. And that's where he brutally murdered her. And thus is why Cassidy is so angry, why she hung out in the Golden Freddy outfit for so long. And why she personally wants to see Afton suffer because her death was so violent compared to the others. Granted, again, they're all violent deaths because they're children's death. But he just lost his shit with Cassidy. And he's got to pay the price now. Pay the fucking toll. And you know what? That's why I loved Ultimate Custom Nights, though. This is a game where I don't mind losing because I know Afton is just getting his just desserts. But this is now where we jump on to a bigger part of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise.
Something just came back to me, actually. Apparently, going back to the FNAF 6, you know, Pizzeria Simulator.
Right.
Apparently the map was supposed to look like the box from FNAF 4.
Yes, I do remember hearing something about that.
Yeah. Also, same with FNAF 3. It's supposed to be the Scott Coffin running man, like upside down.
Yeah.
I actually do like the maps. How it looks.
Oh yeah, the map layout, the design map-wise, you know, as simple as they were very efficient. I like
Yeah.
them. But now we're going on to my favorite game of the entire franchise, which is Help Wanted. Now, this game, of course, started off a new trend because now we have the original four, which set the meat and potatoes of the lore. Then you had, of course, Sister Location, Pizzeria Simulator, and Ultimate Custom Night, which was the conclusion of seeing Michael finish what he started, or finish what everybody else started with killing everybody, and then Afton going to hell. Which, you could have closed the book on the game franchise. I think a lot of people would have been happy. But now we got this, and this game opens up a whole new can of worms with this whole metaverse that they have going on with the Five Nights at Freddy's now.
Which was released in 2019. Help Wanted got
Right.
released in 2019.
I got 2018 on mine. Might have misread
No.
that. I do not know.
Yeah. 2018 was Ultimate Custom Night.
No, 2018 the Ultimate Custom Night.
Then a year later came Help Wanted. Because that's when
May 28th.
Steel Wool came into play.
Yeah, May 28th.
Yeah, May 28th.
Alright, yeah, so I just miswrote that, so it was, that following year. That one was my bad. Again, I cannot be accurate a lot of time. Again, I got to go through so many games over 10 years. I got a lot of information to go through, so if I get a date or two wrong, my bad. But yeah, this is where we get this full like metaverse going on, where in this reality, Scott is a real dude. His name's Steve. Good Steve. He's the little indie game developer who created the first 4 games as to tell the story of what's going on with Freddy Fazbear's franchise. This Help Wanted game is now supposed to be a joke. It's supposed to be like, okay, yeah, we all know about the bad publicity in the press when it comes to Fazbear Entertainment. But, this is why we created this game, so we can all have a good chuckle and a laugh.
Bring everything back in VR.
Yes, and I like
More
that.
of a surreal.
And I really like that because the fact that if you play the game, it's completely different than trying to watch the game. When you watch the game, you're looking at the animatronics, and you're like,
I love Help Wanted.
I love Help Wanted too.
Every other game was just like teleporting around. But with Help Wanted, you can actually get to see them moving.
Not just that, but you get to see the scale of these guys.
Jesus.
Like, seriously.
Yeah, it's like, sheesh.
But, like, again, if you watch somebody play the game, you're looking at them, you're like, oh, they're not that bad. They don't look that scary. Then you put the VR on. Like, you can ask my roommate. He was laughing at me because the first time I ever played Help Wanted was on the Oculus. And everybody knows how powerful and strong the Oculus is. I was scared. I was scared. Like, I was playing FNAF 2. And I freaked the fuck out when the toy bunny Bonnie showed up. I lost my shit. I was just like, get this bitch away from me! I accidentally hit Andrew in the back of the head because I was panicking so hard.
Ow.
Yeah, I got jump scared.
How hard? Was it proper hard?
It wasn't like I decked him or anything, but my hand did go flying back, and I hit the back of his head because he was sitting in his computer chair. And then after I calmed down for a second, I went to the parts and repair mini game, and I started working on Bonnie, and Eric was trying to
when it pressed forward.
Oh, it wasn't just that. See, Eric was trying to adjust the headset for me because I started slipping. So when he did that, I leaned forward and accidentally activated the jump scare cutscene because I took too long. And it scared the shit out of me so badly. I just jumped into Eric's arms and was just like, no, hold me. I can't. I just can't. Because the Oculus really immerses you inside this shit. Like with the PSVR, you because you got that little bit of opening underneath, you can kind of, realize, all right, I'm not really here. I'm standing in my living room. I'm cool. when you play with the Oculus,
Okay,
though,
this
because
one's from me though.
what?
This one's from me. So when I, was like playing it in VR, the Funtime Freddy, the Bonbon and Bonnet, when they would just randomly, they would just jump scare me at random.
Oh yeah.
That's how quote it actually was to my face. Like, Jesus, I'm trying to look for Funtime Freddy here.
Oh yeah, I couldn't. It took me a minute to figure that one out. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, it took me a minute to figure that one out. But I love this game. I just love this game for just how scary it actually is and how intimidating these animatronics truly are. Like, if you go into that parking services, I am literally standing up. I'm not making eye contact with these motherfuckers. I'm looking at their chest. I am literally staring at their chest, and I can still look up and see them. Yeah, and if you actually look how tall these animatronics are in general, they reach like over 6'4", 6'5" for some of them, depending on which animatronic you're measuring. So they're humongous, they're huge, and in the VR, you feel that like looming presence of these things, and it's very intimidating.
Think about Nightmare on though. Just think about her. She's been floating.
Right, making her even taller.
Size of it though.
And then of course, you got Baby. You see like the size of Baby, the plush babies. Like, this one's great because not only does it replicate the first 4 games.
I'm not looking for the new drop though.
That's gonna be fun. You know, that's gonna be fun.
Oh god.
But they replicate the first 3 main games of the series with FNAF 1, 2, and 3. And then with 4, yeah, they kind of do 4. To keep the bedroom setting, you having to do the checking back and forth. Yeah. And they still got the nightmares, but I think the nightmare doesn't show up till like night 4. Yeah, Fred. It's only him, and it's only on night like I think 4 or 5, like one of the last nights that you play that mini game. Then you got like parts and services where you can repair the animatronics, and then you got another little mini game where you can repair the pizzeria itself, which that one's fun, especially the mango vent repair. That one was always a good one. Absolutely adore that one. But as you're playing these mini games, though, you learn the story is you are a little game tester for this VR game. It's supposed to be a little meta joke on the other 4 original games. And everything's supposed to be perfectly alright, but nothing's alright in this game because you find out as the lore progresses that there is a glitch in the system. This glitch being Glitch Trap, being Afton's spirit that's inside the circuit board that they brought over from the burnt down pizzeria simulator game. They brought that over and now put this and basically scanned it into the game so they could basically cut corners. That's the story we got told. They were cutting corners to make them more lifelike and movable and stuff. And unfortunately, because they did this, Afton's soul is now in the game and is now trying to basically possess the player, possess the person playing this game. And you find out by a guy named Jeremy who was almost possessed and it ended up chopping his face off with a paper cutter. Like a paper slicer. I don't know exactly what they're called. But yeah, he chopped his face off with it because he didn't want to be Afton's little puppet. So unfortunately, the tape girl, because you got to collect these tapes throughout the game to get this lore information, warned you about all this and that how she is trying to isolate the glitch itself and keep it contained.
Yeah, I think it was night 4 said that.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was one of the last nights you had to deal with Fred Bear.
Because I'm trying to remember each one. I think so far one know is night 4.
But as you reading the tapes and listening to the tapes, and the more tapes you collect, the closer and closer Glitch Trap starts getting to you. Because, you know, the first, the first mini game and the first 2 mini games, there's nobody there. I want to say, it's right after that first mini game, you see the Glitch Trap over there just waving away, smiling at you from the doorway. And he keeps, popping in and out. And the more levels you complete, the more visible and shapely he starts getting, the closer he starts getting, to the point that he's like right up on your ass. Just like in your face. Like you turn around and he's like right there. You're like, oh, Jesus Christ, bro. Like, personal space, man. Personal space. And it all accumulates to at the end where you gotta do the, your pizza, your birthday party. And you gotta, get your ice cream, get your pizza. And at the end, Glitch Trap basically, or not Glitch Trap, but a person in a golden bunny suit lures you behind the curtain and then stuffs you into the animatronic, and the credits roll as you see him dancing around. Fantastic. But if you do the following things, you get a different ending. So after you do that, you collect all the tapes, you find out how to reset Glitch Trap so he'll leave you alone. And you basically gotta push a button and flip a switch. It would start the music, and because originally there was supposed to be some content, and I saw this one time. I want to say it was either Jack or Mark was playing it when the game first came out, and they hit the Showtime button, and the curtain actually opened to show you Freddy and them all on stage, and how you can kind of glitch yourself through the curtain if you move the VR camera around, that you can get behind the curtain and you can see that there was supposed to be there. So you're supposed to hit the Showtime button, starting the animatronics up, push a button on the computer, flip a switch, and Glitch Trap's supposed to reset. And if you don't do that, you'll end up switching positions. But as you're doing all this shenanigans trying to stop him, if you do it right though, fortunately if you do it right, he ends up trapping you inside of your own mind. You literally wake up behind a door with a bunch of handprints on it, and you click the little lock button, and it opens up to see Springtrap, or Afton, I should say, over there, shh, and then dips the fuck out like he's Houdini. He's just like, shh, okay, bye, have fun being locked up in your brain. I'm gonna take over now. It's cool. Don't mind me. More than one of us can live here. It's okay. And, yeah, so unfortunately, because of that, Glitch Trap is now controlling the player. But here's some more stuff that helps you with the lore information. So, you have the Curse of Dreadbelt DLC that came out that Halloween. And that's also very lore heavy, because if you play the Foxy Corn Maze and you get all 5 keys, not just grab 1 key and then dip the hell out. You grab all 5 keys.
Every single one.
Yep. You gotta go back to the middle of the maze and then go through a little cellar and you find the Vanny mask. Now, once you... Wait, what were you gonna say?
Technically, you gotta collect 4 keys first, and you'll hear a ding of a bell when you got to go through the whole entire maze looking for a purple key, which will unlock the
little cell you gotta go.
Little hatch thing.
But you find Vanny's mask. So what you're supposed to do is, once you have Vanny's mask, and once you do the original Glitch Trap ending where he locks you up, you get a Glitch plushie, basically, a little green glow-in-the-dark plushie. You're supposed to take this green glow-in-the-dark plushie and this Vanny mask, you put the Vanny mask on, and you'll hear part of a conversation between a woman, who we find out is Vanessa, or Vanny as she's called, and Afton, but you only hear the one half of the conversation. You only hear her answering to Afton like, yes, it's all taken care of. I did exactly what you said. Yes, we got this, and it leaves you kind of wondering, okay, what's going to happen in the next game? Now, unfortunately, we don't find out any more information about Vanessa after all of this until the next game on our list. Now, the next game after Help Wanted, even though
do you want the order of the tapes? Do you want the order of the tapes?
I don't think the order of the tapes is not a bad idea. Go ahead.
Okay, so if you do want to know all of them, I would recommend you quickly getting a pen or a pencil with a little note or something like that. It goes 1, 4, 6, 9, 5, 7, 8, 3, 13, 10, to 11, 12, 14, 15, and 16.
Yeah.
It was like 15 or 16.
Yeah, because unfortunately, when you find the tapes, they're all out of order, and you got to put them in order so you can understand the story a little bit. Because otherwise, you're getting like a jumbled mess of information. You're just like, what is going on here? But we'll come back to actually. Let's not come back to. Let's hold off on the AR game real quick because there's something else about the VR game that ended up happening. So they ended up making it a basic platform mode for the game. And with that one, you actually ended up playing another mini game called Princess Quest. And that one, I want to say you end up learning that the poor princess has been captured by the Glitch Bunny, which is supposed to represent Vanessa being captured by Glitch Trap and being basically possessed by Glitch Trap. And that's also where you find out because that was during the Christmas as well, where you find out once you beat the game, you went out this little secret side door you saw coming soon, and a pizzaplex being built. So that was always fun. But I love this game. It's very lore accurate. It's very confusing though because of the fact that they try to make it into a metaverse now. Now we got the 4 main games, the 3 other games concluding it, and then you got the metaverse overall, which is supposed to be, kind of like, oh yeah, none of this shit's real. But in actual reality, is very much real in this metaverse. This whole franchise is very much real in this game franchise, in this game universe. So we got the AR game now. Now the AR game was like a hit or miss with people because it was a phone game. The only reason why I'm talking about this is because it has some lore information that was hidden in the game if you weren't paying attention. And it was mainly you got these emails from a particular person. We're going to call them Vanny. And Vanny and... Yeah, the emails were basically between Vanny and another coworker discussing her getting the job at the Mega Pizzaplex. So that's where the VR, or not the VR, but the AR game, it's called Special Delivery. It came out in 2019. It was kind of like Pokemon Go, to a degree, where you literally, just had to take picture
without collecting them.
Yeah, you couldn't collect them
without capturing.
Yeah. And this is where you get like all the crazy costumes, the Statue of Liberty Chica and the Chocolate Freddy and the St. Patrick's Day Freddy and all that stuff. This is where all those skins come from. But mainly the most lore important information of this game are the emails between Vanny and the co-workers and everybody. Because, this is where we learn where the next game is going, which rolls us into the next game, which is Security Breach. Now, Security Breach is very, very decisive in this entire game franchise because you either, again...
Our very first ever free-roam game.
You got your very first free-roaming game, but because this game has so much confusingness, it took a step in another direction that people weren't used to. This is one of those games, just like the third game, where people either like it or they hate it. There's no in between when it comes to this game, I found out. And I'm going to be honest, I don't hate it. But I struggled a lot on this game when it first came out because it was
mainly the bugs and glitches.
The bugs. The game was a little rushed. The game was very rushed. I did not have happy memories playing this game when it first came out. I technically never even finished the game when it first came out. It wasn't until about a month ago that I finally, quote-unquote, beat the game. And the reason why I say that, though, if y'all haven't seen me play the DLC Ruin and heard the story, I'll tell you the story real quick. So when I played the game, I decided to get the secret ending, and it was a struggle because of all the damn bugs and glitches and the fact that we didn't have that permanent save state in the middle. So if you died... after you beat the game, because at the end you're supposed to go to the exit of the pizza gate, and Freddy's supposed to be like, well, you can leave or you can stay. And if you stayed, there was no more save points. You literally died, you had to start all the way over there. So I wanted that secret ending. So you had to go through Chica's garbage and deal with her. So I get her voice box, and then go through Roxy's Raceway, go down there, fight the final boss, which is supposed to be Burnt Trap, which is Afton, and of course we get the "I always come back" line. And Freddy actually says a line I absolutely love, which is "I am not me." I love that line. Because my friends were here. I am not me. Because he was filled with so much anger and rage.
I've actually completed that.
Oh, see, let me continue. So I got to the ending. I did the ending. I completed the ending. I beat Afton. I was running with Freddy. We felt good about life. Credit to Roland. I'm chit-chatting with everybody about the game. Like, all right, that was a struggle to get this ending, but we did it. We got the ending. In the middle of me talking, I got jump scared, and then I got a game over screen during the credits. The black credits.
You actually saying that.
Yeah.
I actually remember you actually
And I
saying
have
that.
video evidence to prove
That one,
this.
yeah.
I have video evidence to prove this, but I spent over 2 hours replaying that ending, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and the same thing kept fucking happening over and over again. Where halfway through the credits, I would get jump scared and die and then get a game over, and it never counted me as quote unquote beating the game. Even if because at the time you couldn't skip the ending credit scenes either. I wanted to, but you couldn't at the time. They didn't implement that yet. So I never beat the game, according to the game. Even though I technically beat the game said, no, you didn't. You're only 87% done. Fuck you, game. I beat it. I can't help it. You were broken at the time. But the story is, we were in 2021 when this game came out. The story is you play a little boy named Gregory who is now found himself inside the mega Pizzaplex, which is like a big ass mall just dedicated to Five Nights at Freddy's. If you're just a fan of Freddy's, this is the mall you go to, because you got like Rockstar Row, which has props from the DLC, props from the other games. You got of course, our new animatronics, which are supposed to be kind of nods to the original ones, but they're also different. They're called the Rockstar animatronics. And with the Rockstar animatronics, they're very, no, not Rockstar, because the Rockstars are fucking Pizzeria Simulator. Glam Rocks. Glam Rocks, that's
correct.
it.
They're Glam Rocks.
Sorry, again, so many fucking animatronics to go through. The Glam Rock animatronics, sorry, the Rockstar animatronics are from Pizzeria Simulator as well. That's where Lefty comes in at. But the Glam Rocks are all very clean. And, like, they're very 80s, very neon colors. Everyone's very slick, edgy. You got Monty Gator. You got Rockstar Chica. You got fucking Roxy over here.
Roxanne Wolf and Freddy Fazbear.
Yep.
Those are the 4 main.
Yep, and then of course you got everybody's favorite animatronics of the entire game, the security bots. Everybody loves the security bots. They were the best damn thing to ever be created in the fucking game. I'm not saying I have an intense hatred for those security bots, but if I could burn every single one of them down to the ground, I would.
They're annoying.
I would. I hate those security bots. But
shit tons of them.
And funny enough, there was way more on the when the game first came out. They actually had to cut down security bots because there was too many of them. They actually fixed that, and I was just like, thank you, fucking God. 'Cause there were so many areas. There's like 20 of them, just in one little location. You're like, why do you need so many, bro? Like, seriously, what are y'all expecting? Someone to rob the Loco Taco over here? Like, what's going on? Like, seriously. But as you're playing the game, the whole point is you're supposed to survive till 6 a.m. when the Mega Pizzaplex opens. You're hiding the entire time from Vanessa, the other animatronics, except for Freddy. Freddy, for some strange reason, from the beginning of the game onwards to the end, he's not like the rest of the animatronics. The rest of the animatronics are trying to capture and find Gregory. Freddy is trying to help Gregory. Freddy calls him his little superstar. He's trying to help him out, having a great time. So yeah, he's completely different from the other ones, and we cannot forget about somebody else who's a little different as well. Moondrop
The
and
Moondrop
Sundrop.
and Sundrop.
Think about it. They're also a little different from the other animatronics as well. They're not actively trying to get Gregory
Well,
until
mainly
the
called
light.
the daycare attendant.
Right.
The
But
daycare attendant.
you would think, you know, the other animatronics, Roxy, Chica, Monty, are all trying to grab Gregory and to take him to Vanessa. Moondrop and Sundrop actually have their hands on Gregory and decide to keep him with them. You want to play? Come on, buddy. Let's go. It's just like, first of all, son, calm down.
Sundrop. That's only Sundrop who's mainly it's like taking them back to one spot.
Right, Moondrop, but again, Moondrop is only different because we done turned the lights off and we're past our bedtime. He's not trying to take us to Vanessa. He's trying to punish us because we're past our bedtime here.
Yeah.
But I do like the daycare section. That was actually one of my favorite sections of the whole game, and I was very, very pleased to see how they fixed it during my replay of the game. I saw where they added some neon color lights to help you find the generators a little bit easier. I did appreciate that. I thought that was a good touch.
I've literally done like a mad run through on like, you know, when everything is proper fixed on the PlayStation, and I just speed run through it all. Even the daycare. I speed run it.
I cannot speed run that daycare section. I love it too much. It's one of my favorite sections of that whole game. Then the Indo section. Those two are my favorite sections of the whole game. I thought those were very creepy, atmospheric sections. I absolutely loved it. I wish there was more sections like that in the game, but sadly, it's more hide and seek and patiently waiting until somebody goes away. Some of the animatronics are really, really smart, like Chica, who can see through fucking walls. Let me give you an example. On my replay through this game, or my replay of the game, I'm hiding in a little corner between two arcade machines in a circle of arcades, and this is in the main lobby. Chica is literally on the other side near the elevators. I'm near the wall. So I'm facing a wall. I'm looking at my map, and Chica somehow spotted me through a wall in the arcades, ran all the way over to where I was at, and waited there. And the only way I got out of that situation was I just crouched until she like went, oh, where'd she go? Oh, I'm leaving now. And walked the hell off. It was ridiculous. Like, this bitch can see me through walls. But then you got somebody like Roxy who literally sees you jump into a thing to hide in right in front of her. And she's like, where'd you go? Oh, I will find you. Bitch, you know where I went. Why you acting like you don't?
You don't have any friends. I mean, she's gotta be like...
She's so mean.
What do you call it? Like sarcastic animatronic?
Yeah, she's very sassy.
Nobody will miss you.
She's kind of a bitch, I'm not gonna lie. But
I bet you don't have any friends.
Which is sad because she's really nice to Cassie in the DLC.
Yeah.
But again, that shows you that there's something particular about Gregory. The other animatronics are programmed to go after Gregory. Not Cassie. But we'll get to the DLC in a minute. But yeah, the updates they did to the game fix a lot of the issues with the game. So I don't hate it as bad as I did. That's why I say I don't hate the game, because when I first played it, I hated it. I was just like, this is bullshit. This game fucking sucks.
From the first day of the release.
Yeah, on the first day of the release, I just hated the game. And then replaying it, it's alright. It's alright. It's not one of my favorites out of the bunch. I'd rather play one of the original ones over this one, to be honest. Hell, I'd rather play the VR one over this one. But I'd rather play the VR game no matter what. But Security Breach...
I actually remember when I literally remember when I like glitched out Monty, and that was in the DJ part.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Did you actually see me when I glitched him out?
Yes.
I mean, I got him stuck underneath the stairs. I've even got like, video footage of it. I even made a short of it. Because, man, oh my gosh, it was funny. It's funny as fuck.
Like my thing is the game was not prepared, and what's even more fucked up is that the trailer was very misleading. The trailer made you think that Vanessa was going to play a bigger part in this game, when she really didn't. She rarely showed up. Vanny rarely showed up. Like I think the 2 times she showed up in the game when I replayed it, the second time she glitched. She glitched. She apparently spawned in to do her thing, and she apparently the coding or whatever spawned her on the other side of this barrier, kind of trapping her on the side of the map that you don't get to. So she couldn't do anything. So she was just stuck there in her little dancing animation of walking, and nothing was going on. Like, I felt kind of a little cheated about that because I was so excited to actually see how Vanessa was supposed to be in this section of the game, and she glitched out for me, and I didn't get to experience it. And I was just like, well, that fucking sucks. Like, that truly fucking sucked. Because I wanted...
Unless you just skipped the whole way.
Yeah, and that's what she was supposed to do, but because she glitched out and was stuck, I would literally breeze through that section no problem. Like, I had like one incident where Roxy was on my ass, but I was spending so much time confused about Vanessa and her little bunny suit that I wasn't even caring about Roxy. That's why I accidentally almost got cucked over by Roxy there, because I was too busy looking at Vanny and her little dance. But yeah,
Dancey dance.
yeah, but unfortunately, after that, she really doesn't make another appearance again until you go for the Vanny ending, and then that's when she shows up again. But she's not really in the game at all, which is disappointing because she's supposed to be, brainwashed by Afton.
When you dismantle, that's when you go to, like dismantle Freddy, because that's when she is there with the bot.
But she's more as she's Vanessa, not the bunny. She ain't Vanny the bunny. She's just Vanessa's security guard on that one.
No, in fact, Vanny is actually the twin sister of Vanessa. So it wasn't Vanessa.
Wait, there's no twin. She doesn't have a twin.
Because from the comic thing.
Oh, the comics aren't canon.
When you actually see like a Vanessa on the ground.
And see Vanessa up there. Yeah, that's not canon. That's not canon at all. Like, they actually confirmed that in the DLC. All the comic strip ones you see, they're not canon to the story. They're literally just other endings. But also, I don't think that was supposed to be a representation of a twin. I think that was supposed to be she died, but her spirit is still in the Pizzaplex. That's how I took that ending, anyway. But yeah, apparently the comic ones aren't canon. Because that's how we determined that the burnt trap... that's how we determined the burnt trap ending was not the actual ending, because in the DLC... one of the things you could pick up is the comic strip of you destroying Burnt Trap, which, not canon. This is why the Vanny ending is canon. But the way you do the Vanny ending is you don't dismember her, you gotta play Princess Quest 1, 2, and 3. And that helps release Vanny from the control of Glitch Trap, and then at the end when you do the Vanny ending, you save her, she ends up taking Gregory and the head of Freddy on to get ice cream and chill out on the hill and have a good time. But that's supposed to be the canon one, supposedly, is the Vanny ending, which would make sense because of the fact that, again, this was supposed to be the game where she was supposed to be the main antagonist and basically be chasing everybody around and be the bad guy, but I feel like a lot of her content got cut. Like, there's a lot of cut content when it came to security breach. Like, so much cut content. The trailer was misleading.
Because the trailer... Yeah, because when it comes to the trailer, you can see Vanessa with her hands on the elevator, like you can actually go in the elevators.
Hell, you had that famous scene where you see Vanessa just bunny hopping down the hallway that you don't get either. Like
Yeah.
there's just so much that got cut. But Grant, they did add some stuff to the game where like you find some discs that teach you some more stuff about patient 40, is it 46, 49 or something like that? Patient 40 something. But you find out that's probably Gregory being interviewed by the therapist and all that. And Vanessa, you learn through some more like I'm talking about some random fucking things you gotta do. Like one of the things you could do to unlock the secret room where you can listen to these tapes
Patient
at
46.
46. Okay, I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if it was
46.
46 or 49. But the way you get this is you gotta take pictures of these cutouts for a movie that plays in the theater, and these cutouts are all over the pizza place. You gotta take 5 pictures, and it'll open up a door, and then you go into the door, and then there's coding on the wall. Now, what makes this coding special is this is the exact fucking coding that was used in the stories for the Mimic. That Edward story I was telling you about from Tales from the Pizzaplex. Mimic and the little boy that he was mimicking had their own secret language out of lines and triangles. The language you see on the wall is the Mimic language that they were using. Don't ask me what any of it means or what it says, because I don't know that language, but that is where it connects more into the story, especially with the Mimic and the DLC. But yeah, you learn about Vanessa, her tragic backstory about how she grew up in a broken home. That's why she was easily influenced by Afton's brain control, because she was weakened. It's like being possessed in a way, like by a demon. A demon purposely isolates you, weakens you, and puts you down so you're easily possessed. And that's basically what Afton did there. He broke her down and made her super easily possessed. And now, unfortunately, that is broken after you did the Princess Quest ending, which all 3 cabinets, you got your first cabinet, which is in Roxy Raceway at the salon. The second one is in the Music Man's Den at the end of the hallway before you flip that switch to reset the power and security in the Music Man section. There's a cabinet all the way in the back. It's right there. And then the third Princess Quest is at the end when you're doing the Vanny ending. It's in Vanny's room. But yeah, once you do that, you save Vanny's life. Everything goes back golden. Everything's good. Until we get to the DLC Ruin, which came out this year. And I'm going to be 100% honest.
For free if you've not played it already.
Oh, yes, for free. But I love this DLC. This was a treat. I adored it. I thought it was scary. It got me a couple of times with some good time jump scares. It was fabulous. That opening alone was wonderful.
Some cheap. Some of them were cheap.
Well, yeah, but that's any kind of jump scare simulator game. There's always going to be some cheap jump scares. But I had I had great times playing this DLC. The DLC was the funnest time I had playing Five Nights at Freddy's since Help Wanted, and I was enthralled the entire time. But the story is, you play a girl named Cassie who gets radio called by Gregory saying he's stuck in this pizza in the complex, and he needs her help. And at this point in the story, the Pizzaplex has been shut down for a couple of... I'm not sure if it's been a couple of months or a couple of years, but it's been shut down for a while. And originally, everyone thought it was shut down and destroyed because of the Burnt Trap ending, but when you learn that that one's not canon, and you pay attention to the newspapers all over the wall at the beginning of the game, you find out it was an earthquake that ended up destroying the complex all the way. Now, whether that's actually connected to anything significant that happened underneath the Pizzaplex, we don't know, because you also find out in the original security breach that underneath the mall, during the Burnt Trap ending, the pizzeria simulator building that you use for the 6th game is underneath the mall. It's right there, still intact. You got Candy Cadet in there, still being super fucking creepy. Because how in the DLC, you actually go back through there and you can meet with Candy Cadet and he'll tell you a story. And the story is that a mother locked a monster in the closet in the basement to keep the little boy safe, and the monster ended up learning and mimicking the mother, luring the boy down into the basement and killing him. Kind of creepy shit. But it helps you.
Yeah.
It helps you learn a little bit about who the mimic is and how the mimic operates. He's able to basically mimic whoever he wants. So I don't know why he chose to go after Cassie. We're still trying to figure this shit out. We're not 100% sure. But Cassie, you learn throughout the game as you're playing it that her dad used to work for Fazbear Entertainment because she picks up a Faz tool. And she says, oh, yeah, Faz wrench. And she's like, oh, yeah, this is just like the one my dad had. And you look at the description of it, only Fazbear employees get these. So her dad obviously works here. She knows the complex. So there's a deeper reason of why Mimic has tricked her down here. Now, one of the greatest arguments is, was Gregory in the game at all? Yes, at the very, 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 very end of the game, for all of, I think, 2 sentences, he makes his appearance, and then he gets cut off again by the Mimic. But there's little subtle clues and a hint that something's not right here as you progress through the game, because you are trying to shut down a program called the Mexis program, which is trying to stop you from going further into the Pizzaplex. It's trying to basically just like, hey, leave this place while you still can. Like, we don't want you here. You're not welcome here. But you think it's supposed to be part of Glitch Trap's overall, nonsense of trying to take you over. In actual reality, it's trying to stop you from opening up the can of worms that's down in the basement, which is the Mimic, who is hiding out there for some strange reason. He's down there doing God knows what, and you find out in one of the book stories that the Mimic kind of has a bit of acting within himself, and the Mimic was because, he's kind of ugly looking, not normal, he's kind of like an endoskeleton in some aspects. He was programmed to dissemble other robots and animatronics down at the basement of the Pizzaplex, and unfortunately he ended up taking his job a little too serious when a human came across him and several teenagers, and he proceeded to rip them apart, arms and head off, one by one. Creepy shit. But yeah, for some reason the Mimic's just trying to get Cassie down into the basement to get him out. And once you do all the shenanigans, you destroy these animatronics, you put them to rest. Hell, you even learn what happened to Bonnie, because we make a mention in Security Breach that there used to be a Rockstar Bonnie. Used to. Poor Bonnie, he got beat up by Monty. Monty killed him and took his spot. Cause Monty's a cruel motherfucker, just like Afton. Monty's just a cruel motherfucker. I don't feel sorry for him at all. I felt sorry for Chica, and I felt sorry for Roxy in this DLC, especially Roxy. You learn so much about Roxy in the DLC, and she's really, really nice to Cassie, because you find out after a bit of an incident between you and Roxy, she's ended up crushed underneath a pile of boxes or something. After Gregory convinces her to, stop Roxy at all costs, because for some reason, I don't even know why I never even caught on to this until after the game, where I'm like, oh, this all makes sense. But there were several situations where Gregory was upstairs when he said he was trapped down in the basement. How the hell does that make any sense? But yet we're still following this motherfucker. So Roxy, unfortunately, we end up having to destroy her because she's part of one of the last nodes you gotta get.
That actually confuses me as well. Like, from upstairs, how is it downstairs?
Well, again, I don't think the Mimic was thinking about that. I think the Mimic just wanted Cassie to come down there and help him out. So, and Cassie being a kid, overwhelmed by a lot of shenanigans. She's not thinking about this either. And hell, again, I didn't even realize this until after. Like, after I played the game, I was like, wait a minute now. Like, holy shit, how come I didn't see this shit coming? But once Roxy, you know, gets crushed and you gotta undo her, Roxy remembers her. And apparently Roxy was her favorite animatronic. And Roxy was the only one to show up for her birthday. That and a kid named Gregory. So that's how you find out why they're friends, because she had a birthday party and no one but Roxy and Gregory showed up. Which was sad. That's sad. That truly is sad. And I feel for Cassie. Cassie, Elizabeth, and the crying child, the three children out of all the children, and Cassidy as well, that I feel the most for when it comes to the animatronics, because Cassidy, again, she was just brutally murdered for no fucking reason. Like, the brutality of the murder was just uncalled for. The crying child, because of the fact that it was a prank gone wrong, and the child was taken from us too soon, too quickly. And then Cassie, because all she wants to do is help her friend out. All she wanted to do was just help her friend out, and now she's in this shit story. And then, of course, Elizabeth, because all she wanted to do was just see Baby. That's all she wanted to do. She didn't realize what her dad was doing, and she didn't know Baby was going to do that to her. So I feel for these kids, and I feel for Cassie. So when, you know, Cassie started crying, I started actually tearing up a little bit. I was just like, God damn, gang, make me feel things. I'm not supposed to feel sorry for Roxy. I was pretty pissed at her in the original security breach, because that fire section when she lost her eyes was a fucking nightmare. If you accidentally went to a hiding spot, game over, man, because she just would not leave you alone until you waited like 20 fucking minutes, and then she decided to walk out the room, and then the moment your big toe hit that floor, she came around that corner and got your ass. Like, she had better vision when she had no eyeballs. That is a sad factor. She had better vision when she had no eyeballs. But yeah, and Cassie starts crying because she's got to kill Roxy. And then she gets all the way down there. You hear the story from Candy's cadet, and then she gets down there, sees the mimic going, I'm Gregory. No, the hell you ain't. And then Gregory actually pops up on the radio to inform her, listen, we're not there. I don't know who you're talking to, but it ain't me, and it ain't my friend. So you're going to want to leave. So this is where I think the real Gregory got cut off again, and the mimic took over. Because she ends up getting led through an elevator, and then Gregory all of a sudden just goes, you know, I love you, Cassie, you're a good friend, but I can't have the mimic following us, so we're going to drop your ass through an elevator chute. And they just drop her. And she hopefully is okay. We don't know if she's okay. I pray she's okay. We do hear Roxy at the end of the game, you know, just go, Cassie. You know, I'm assuming that does mean she's okay, and Roxy ended up finding her, because Roxy makes a grand appearance to save Cassie when the mimic goes to attack her, which I love that. Redemption art, baby. Make me feel for this character. It's kind of like having Freddy again. Because I'm going to be honest, I did, once they got the kinks out of Freddy, during Security Breach, he was a real treat and a delight to have. You know, he has some great witty comments.
I actually wish it was Monty.
I don't like Monty.
Monty's my boy.
I don't like Monty. I have my own beef with Monty. I do. I dare just fine. Thank you very much. Fuck Monty. That section when I first played it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare to get through. I was so happy when he died. Did you notice during my replay of the game when he was falling, I put the Ave Maria song as he was falling in slow-mo? That's how much I hated him. I gave him a die-hard death scene right there. But I adored this DLC. The more they added to the lore here, the fact that they brought the mimic from the book, so that means they're trying to now connect not only the games, but now actually bring something from the books and combine them all, and hopefully this that just keeps getting better and better, because like I said, the DLC was great. I love the DLC. It was simple. It was get point A to point B. I didn't need to hide. I didn't need to have like overly too much patience. I had a good time. I enjoyed the ride on that one. I highly do recommend that one. It's not everybody's cup of tea. I've heard some people complain that it was not scary, that it was too simple. They like Security Breach better, which is fine. To each their own when it comes to the games, but I personally had a better time and experience with the DLC than I did with Security Breach. Even on my second playthrough, I still struggled on certain sections because, again, there's still a couple of bugs and glitches here and there. There are some questionable things coming from Chica's eye vision and Roxy's vision. It got frustrating. It got really, really frustrating at some point, especially during that Roxy Raceway scene, where you had to go through the fire and get out through the vent. That was just frustrating for me because I accidentally, I think twice. One time I purposely hid there because she was right on my ass because she heard me walk by her. So I jumped in and she just stood there. She didn't move. She just stood there. It didn't move. There was nothing I could do, so I had to get her to get me. And then the second time, I accidentally, because I was trying to do a distraction, and the distraction was right next to a hiding spot, so I accidentally hid. And then Roxy walked away, and then the moment I stepped out, she just came out of nowhere and got my ass. I was super pissed. I was just like, this is just aggravating. This is just fucking aggravating. But
that's odd.
Yeah, I still had struggles here and there on some aspects of the game, but overall, I had a decent time the second time around. Wasn't my favorite game, like I said, but the DLC, loved it. Loved the DLC. And then, of course, now that we're all caught up with the full metaverse at this point, we've now done the VR 1. Now we got the VR 2 Help Wanted coming out. That's going to be interesting because I am curious to see where they're going to go with the VR, because again, the VR started the whole metaverse, we're game developers, this is where Vanny comes in, this is where Glitch Trap comes in. Where does the second game lie at now for Help Wanted 2? Where are we going at with this one? I've seen a couple of gameplay of it. Of course, you got... oh, yeah, I forgot to make a mention during the DLC. So, the animatronics for this one, of course, we have Chica, Roxy, Monty, and Moondrop and Sundrop. But he's now called Eclipse. And everybody's in ruins now. Everybody's looking like worse than worse. Especially Chica. Chica look bad. Even Cass points that out. She's just like, oh my god, Chica, is that you? Like, oh, what happened to you? I'm not saying...
There is something about Bonnie as well. As, of course, you don't really get to see him. Why? Because we find out he is probably dead in ruins.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently he does have his own voice.
Yeah, he had his own voice lines, and...
Which actually is supposed to be Eclipse.
Yeah, I heard about that. It was something to do with they ended up giving it to Eclipse instead, but the subtitles are popping up as Bonnie said it.
Yeah.
Which you can't find Bonnie in the game. You have to do this little mini thing where you pull up the cameras, and then you gotta find a camera that's like obscure off to the side, and then click that, and then once you do that a couple of different times, no, wait, I'm thinking of how you get the secret ending there. No, how you get Bonnie is these fucking wet bots, the wet floor bots. When you put the Vanny mask on. Yeah, you got this similar. Yeah, one of the core mechanics of the game that you have that's a little bit different compared to the mechanics of the first game. We're still in free roaming mode. We still got a flashlight, but we don't have to charge it like we did in the first Security Breach.
Yeah.
And we don't have a Faz watch, but we have a Faz wrench, which helps us open doors, and we got the Vanny mask, which puts us in between two realities. We have our reality, then the virtual reality, and that's when the mask is putting us. Yeah. So you put the mask on, and you go up to the wet floor sign bots, and they're screaming children, and you have to turn them off one by one. And there's a.
You was actually confused during your first playthrough.
Yeah, because the kids were scary. That's a scary sound effect. You're just hearing the kids screaming. That is terrifying. But once you turn all these wet floor bots off and disassemble them, you didn't get a door that opens in Bonnie Bowl where you could do the Music Man section, little Music Man. There's a door all the way in the back, and as you go in there, you find Bonnie dead body basically, and then you have to turn off 4 more of the little what floor sign bots, and then Bonnie's eyes just turn off, like they're glowing, and as soon as you do that, they turn off, like his spirit's been sent to rest. So yeah, that's what ended up happening to Bonnie. Monty ended up destroying him. I guess his poor little body just stayed there.
Apparently, Monty's just been framed.
Yeah, poor Monty on that one. I feel bad for Monty on that one. He got framed for that because it was somebody else that disassembled him. Who knows who did it? It could have been anybody. Could have been Vanessa. Could have been Mrs. Afton. We don't know.
It could have been the Mimic.
Yeah, it could have been Mimic. Could have been anything. We don't know. Hopefully, maybe with DLC like 2. Hopefully, there's like a second DLC to the security breach. I'm curious to see where this story goes. Like, but hell, I'm curious to see where Help 1 and 2 goes.
Because if the Mimic can, like, you know, change his voice to Gregory and this kid's mother, he could have changed his voice into Freddy and called him over.
Right? But again, maybe hopefully when the DLC 2 comes out, we will learn something. Maybe with Help Wanted 2, we can find something out. But with Help Wanted 2, though, I did see some of the gameplay footage. We have a carousel mini game with Eclipse fucking around in the background, and apparently it's supposed to get more intense and like crazy as you keep trying to fix this fucking carousel. And
you mean Moondrop?
I thought it was Eclipse on this one. Is it Moondrop?
Moondrop.
Okay, Moondrop then. But then you have another little mini game where you gotta do like a whack-a-helper, or a whack-a-helpy or whatever, and you just have a little fun with that.
It's like a whack-a-bon.
Whack-a-body, whack-a-something.
But
it's like a whack-a-mole, basically.
It's like a whack-a-mole. Whack-a-mole, let's just call it.
But
because technically you get these circus baby plushies, which got hit twice, and you get like Bonnet and Bonbon, if I remember correctly. But now and then you get these helpies, which you've got to avoid. I'm gonna hit them purposely.
It's just like I'm mad at you in the DLC. But I'm curious to see if they bring back any like the plush baby like mini games. Cause don't get me wrong, I actually enjoyed that, even though it was kind of hard with the flashlight battery consumption. Cause I hated that fucking flashlight.
But there is a third one. I'm pretty sure there was a third one. If I remember correctly.
I can't remember what the third one was. I remember the first two. I was mainly enthralled by the Moondrop Carousel one. That was the game that like caught my attention. I was just like, oh hell yeah, that looks scary as hell. That looks fun. That looks really really fun. But only time can tell what Help 1 and 2 is going to bring to the table. I'm curious to see if they bring back a couple of the other mini games that they did from Help Wanted. Again, I did love the plush track one. Where you know the recreation of the mini game from 4, we had to put plush trap on the X. I thought that was really fun. I enjoyed the baby one where you had to hide in the closet. I thought something like that would be fun. Something like the plush, peekaboo. Something like that would be fun. Maybe another plush trap, not plush trap, a plush baby mini game where you had to, find all the plush babies. I thought that one was fun. I like that one.
No. I hated that one.
I enjoyed that mini game. But it's gonna be interesting though to see where Help Wanted 2 and where the DLC next one's gonna be. Cause we got plenty of information now. We got a lot of books that have already come out. A lot of books backing up a lot of theories out there. So I am curious to see where the game franchise itself is going to go from here now. Especially now that it's so big, it's getting its own theatrical movie. And it's got good actors in it. And we will be talking about the movie and all that during the big group discussion that we're going to have in a couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm just curious now.
I will actually tell you guys this. That I actually find like tons of hidden things, because when I've been hearing oh, there's going to be a security breach going to come in out and everything. But all of a sudden, during the Christmas update or something like that, when you get all the coins, you get like this exotic butter case, and inside there is a button which pops up with the new release type of thing. That was not on the TV, and I accidentally found this door, which actually takes you into the snow place where it says now hiring, and I couldn't get to see.
Yeah, where the Pizzaplex. Yeah, where the Pizzaplex is being
I
built.
think I was like the first one to actually find that out whilst I was live. I accidentally found it. I've never seen anyone do it.
I saw several people. I saw several people do it after the update. I didn't do it myself because I wasn't interested in the platforming version of the game. But I enjoy the VR. Like I just enjoyed the VR a lot more. Like don't get me wrong, I get why they did the platforming one so other people could play it as well, and then of course they added more lore to the story. But I just personally like the VR game. But like I said, I am curious though to see where the game's gonna go from here. Like the gaming franchise. Oh, Bonko. Okay, I was wondering what it was called.
Bonko, Bon.
I am curious to see where the game's going to go, especially now that Scott's kind of backed down a little bit, and I don't know if I'm going to necessarily talk about that part of the controversy when it comes to Scott during the group discussion, because that's some bullshit with political views, and people just upset because of who he was supporting and stuff like that, and that's just an argument I really just don't feel like getting into when it comes to games and shit. And I can kind of get why Scott kind of backed down a little bit.
That's it.
What?
So there's a breaker room, so basically, Funtime with Freddy is one of them.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get that one.
Speak through the microphone.
Yeah, I didn't get that one.
You gotta speak through the microphone, keep him, far back while you're doing something with like the levers.
Like I said, I vaguely remember that one. I remember watching it going, I just don't get this. Like, I don't get what you're supposed to do. Because there were so many buttons and knobs and other things that's in front of you. I just was not getting it. But like I said, we're probably not going to dive too much into the Scott controversy or why he left. I mean, we'll probably make a mention of it or something. But that's just an argument I don't want to get into because that's political. And there's two things you don't argue with people about. There's two things you don't argue with people. Oh yeah, no, it's his choice. And again, like I was saying, there's two arguments you never have with people, and that's politics and religion. You don't argue with people about that because everyone has their own perspective, opinions about that, and that's all great and dandy and all that shit. But that's how a lot of arguments and a lot of friendships get destroyed because of political and/or religious points of views. So I don't feel like starting an entire section in my comment section of people just arguing about whether Scott stepping down was the right move or not.
Okay, we've got a breaker room, carousel repairs, and Bonker Bon. So
yeah,
those are the three
ones we saw for the Help Wanted 2 game. But like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see where the game itself goes from here. The franchise overall. I mean, it's full steam ahead at this point. It's got books, we got a movie coming out, we got games. Five Nights at Freddy's on top of the world right now. It's been over 10 years. It's on top of the world. It's feeling great. Five Nights at Freddy's is feeling great, but it's always concerning when the creator always steps down. Like, think about some of your favorite movies, like the Saw franchise, where it started getting a little weird and not very likable after certain directors stepped down. And I'm mainly looking at after the third movie. I'm sorry, I was not one of those people who enjoyed the Hoffman era. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Hoffman. He was an interesting apprentice to have for Jigsaw, especially the fact that he was just killing people just because they were scum of the earth. He didn't give them a chance to escape, which is completely the opposite of what Jigsaw stood for. But that's a whole different discussion for a whole different podcast. And I actually do plan at some point, probably next year, talking about the Saw franchise because I love that franchise. I do. I love that for its own fucked up reasons, and especially with the 10th one coming out this year. Just a couple of weeks ago, I should say. Yeah, about a week or so ago at this point. I've heard great things about the movie. I was very shocked about the amount of praise that movie was getting since the last, like, 3 Saw movies did not do well at the box office. So, it's one of those situations, and I feel like with Five Nights at Freddy's, it could be just like the Saw, where after Scott steps down, it could either get really bad or really good. We'll just have to see. I trust Steel Wool to do the VR game because, they did a good job on the first one. I'm sure the second one's going to be just as good. And with the DLC, as long as they keep doing the DLCs correctly and nicely with a good story to it, we shouldn't have too much of an issue with those games moving forward. But unfortunately, guys, we finally hit the tail end of the discussion of Five Nights at Freddy's, of all the games. We've talked about all of the majority big games, all the lore relevance, where the games are at, how they all played out. We talked about the animatronics. We rambled, we vented, we had our moments. I think overall this would probably be a good time to probably go ahead and end this here. AJ, do you have anything you want to plug in before we end this podcast? Maybe your YouTube channel.
Well, I do have a channel. I know that I know I have like cut down a little bit, but I will be getting some more content out there very, very soon, because I do have some clips that I do join with Amanda on there. I'm pretty sure Amanda will be putting my channel in the description if you do want to check it out. I mean, I am actually so close to actually hitting about, I would say, so almost around about 680. I would say I'm almost around about there.
Nice. You're doing really good.
So,
but for those of us who are not on YouTube, his YouTube channel is... AJ, what's your YouTube channel? Put it in. Say it for the people.
AJ Making, just that. It's AJAY space MAKIN. You should see a AM logo. So basically, that's my channel. If you do want to go and check it out, I appreciate it. But I know at some point during the Halloween seasons, and I definitely know me and Amanda definitely we're going to be doing some Phasmophobia, because I've been dying for it.
Yes, because Phasmo is coming over to the PlayStation now, finally.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be great. It's definitely going to be great. But, like I said, guys, I do believe this is probably a good time to go ahead and end this podcast here. I hope everybody who has watched, is watching, will watch. I hope you enjoy. I hope everybody has a fantastic and a wonderful night. And, guys, don't forget, if you're watching this video here on YouTube, or wherever you're listening to, Spotify or Anchor, please give this video a like, subscribe, and quite possibly a comment down below, because you never know what's going to happen here. Trust me, I never know. I think I'm doing a good job about keeping up with the scheduling on this one. Next week, we'll be talking about all the FNAF books and the lore importance for all the books and how they connect to the games. And then the third week, we'll have a big discussion. Hopefully, I have a big discussion. I'm trying to get a bunch of people in on this. We can all sit down.
I definitely know I'm going to be there.
I know you're going to be there, but
I'm a big, huge fan of the Freddy's fans. So without Amanda me being here, she will be confused about something.
Well, like I said, I have so much information I'm going through, because this is a month long in Denver here. So I'm literally going through like 20 some odd books, going through, I think, 12 different games. I gotta go through the movie, the trailers, the lore. I gotta go through Matt Pat shit. Like, there's just so much information to go through when it comes to Five Nights at Freddy's. I do my best to try to keep everything organized, but y'all know me and my notes. Sometimes they're scatterbrained all over the place. But
Tell you what, I actually want to know this about from you guys as well. What is your favorite Final Fantasy Freddy's game, and what's your favorite animatronic? Oh, I really want to know that.
I think that's like a common
And so,
question a lot of people want to know from
yeah,
fellow FNAF fans. Just like, which one's your favorite? I think we
ooh,
all have our own favorites.
yeah, because my my most favorite's got to be Final Fantasy Freddy's 4 with um a bit of security breach now and then. But my favorite has got to be Monty the Nightmare Foxy, which I've got a tattoo of on my ankle, and of course Springtrap.
Nice, nice.
Those
Good
are going to be
choice.
my most
Good
favorites.
choice when it comes to animatronics. I would say mine.
Hmm.
I like the Dreadbear DLC animatronics. Those were all really really good with the pumpkins. Everyone was kind of like, I think it was like the Pumpkin Chica, the Flaming Foxy. I thought
The
those were,
DLC from Help Wanted.
yeah, the Dreadbear DLC, which I love that.
Yeah,
Just
the Curse of Dreadbear.
yeah, the
Curse
Curse
of
of
Dreadbear.
Dreadbear was just, it was great DLC, and I love the animatronics from
Ooh.
there. They were very spooky and scary. Absolutely adored them, especially
Especially
the
with
Foxy.
some of the Easter eggs. Especially with some of the little Easter eggs and, well, you know, the little hidden things, the sky changes.
Oh yeah, there's
Because,
the Dreadbear coming up
oh,
from the water.
I do not know if you've actually seen it, but if you guys have not seen this before, it's a quick and easy, you know, thing. So what you want to do is the lever. So what you want to do is to switch that, which send you into the hard mode. There's no hard difficulties on there for when you go like the normal mode.
Yeah, your
Um,
hard mode is
so
basically like a
on the
glow in the
left,
dark version.
yeah, yeah. So on the left hand side of the monitor, you'll see like a button. What you gotta do is just press that, switch it back to the the day version. Then when you look behind you, you should see a car. This will work with in VR and on
The flat
off
mode.
VR as well. Yeah, yeah. So if you're on VR, just raise yourself a bit. You should see over the monitor. You should see the house. Keep going across
Yeah, the
from there.
house
You
from
see
FNAF 4.
yep, you should see between the trees, you should see the good old dancing glitch trap doing this little lifting his legs up with his arms
His
from left to
little
right.
dance that he loves to do.
Yep. Yep, so on VR is on there. If you're on flat mode, should be somewhere on the right. You cannot miss him. If you cannot see him in VR mode, just turn around again, just trying to get a good glimpse of the headlight. Trust me, it does work.
It's
It
a nice little
used to
Easter
be
egg.
a gigantic. It, it actually used to be a gigantic um, Dreadbear. No jokes. It actually used to be that, hovering right over the Final Fantasy 4 house. True fact.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. Now I think they have that giant dread bear for when you die. And it's just over you
Yeah,
now. And
exactly.
also, you can't forget about the great Easter egg of the
The
purple tombstone.
gravestone.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
great. They had some great
And
Easter eggs for the
I
DLC.
do not know. I do not know what that is actually.
Speculations, rumors, Afton's grave stone. It could be one of the 6 kids one of the 5 kids out of the 6 kids he killed. Like, it could have been a lot of
Could be
things.
Jeremy.
Yeah, it could be Jeremy. Remember Jeremy?
Remember Jeremy.
Ah,
What happened to Jeremy? Where did he die or wherever it was?
poor Jeremy. We will always remember him though. He was a good man, good working hard man. But
But
like,
since it was Final Fantasy 2, we all know he got fired. So
yeah, poor Jeremy. Poor Jeremy. I feel like I said, I feel bad for Jeremy, but we'll still remember him though as a hardworking individual.
in
But
heart, we'll remember him in heart.
but like I said, guys, I do believe this is probably a good stopping point. So I will see y'all next week for hopefully another fantastic and wonderful episode of the Screen Stream. Keep an eye out for I got one Texas Chainsaw Massacre video coming out. It's one match, very fun bubble match I did, and I got a Dead by Daylight video also coming out next week as well. So keep an eye out on that.
Is that with me? Was it?
Yes, it was the one where you, me, and Evo all played together.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day. So until then, my friends, y'all take care.